And welcome to Poker Night Live. I'm Lyndsay, joined by James Browning tonight.
Good to see you again. It's been ages again.
Long before Christmas since we've been on together.
Oh my goodness,
yes.
a long
I
time.
always think the two Geordies are a lethal combination.
Very.
Yes, but we're here till 2 o'clock tonight. Loads of poker coming up for you, as always on Poker Night Live. Real games which are being played online for real stakes. And James is going to be giving you a commentary throughout the games that we're watching. You can tell he's the poker expert. Look at all the chips he's got. I'm the beginner. I've got about 5. But we are amateur night tonight, so hopefully teaching some of our new players, giving you some tips and pointers, helping you learn some poker. As always, it's your show, fully interactive, and you determine what we talk about with your questions and your comments. So please send them through to the studio. You can text us the number, there it is, 62211, 62211, or you can email. That's the address. It's poker@pokernightlive.co.uk, and you can find out more about the show and about how to get onto the TV tables at our website, www.pokernightlive.co.uk. So lots of games coming up, as always. We've got cash, a few tourneys, maybe a multi-table as well.
Yes, definitely we have. We've got a well-entered multi-table tournament.
Yes.
We'll tell about that shortly.
Lots of people there. Would you do the honours and show us around the tables?
I'd be happy to, Lindsay. Let's have a look. Right, we're starting off with a little cash game there, 50 cent, $1. But that's a good game to look at on a beginner's night. And there's a $5 tourney. And wow, we haven't lost a single player, Lindsay, and we're up to 40.80.
Yes, that's unusual, isn't it?
It is. And we're going up in price, a $10 tourney on the second level. And again, no players missing. They don't want to miss their TV fame, I think.
No,
that's why they're playing careful.
Hanging in there.
Bright green, we know what it means. It's a multi-table tourney. And I'll tell you what, it's a big entry on there tonight.
Yes, we'll be dipping into that a bit later. Hopefully seeing some good play. We've also got a bit of a theme tonight because it's amateur night. New players are going to make mistakes. So
we all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes anyway, but particularly for new players, there's a lot of basic mistakes which you can pinpoint, and hopefully we're going to try and nip them in the bud before they become really bad habits. So we want people to text in with their 3 most common mistakes.
Be critical, self-critical. Think, what are the mistakes I make myself? We'll be very fair with you. Listen, even if Graham Souness, if you're playing tonight, we'll even be fair with you. We're fair Geordies, honestly.
Well,
no. Well,
maybe that's drawn the line a bit somewhere. But yes, 3 most common mistakes.
Yeah. Put them down, tell them what they are, email them in to us, and we'll try and find a way for you to stop making these mistakes.
So you're really going to have to look at your game and analyse it to try and...
Self-analysis.
Yes.
That's what it's
admit
all about
to yourself
tonight.
what you're doing wrong. Because a lot of the time you know you're doing it, but you just carry on.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what these are. We'll make a list of them for the whole night. I think it'll be very helpful for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
definitely. So you can send them in, text us 62211, or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. But we're going to get straight to a game, learn some poker.
I think we've got a sit and go lined up there, Lindsay.
Okay, let's have a look.
It's a $10 one.
Excellent. And there it is.
Yep, brilliant. And it's a second level.
Full table.
And we've got, you'll have seen a few of these players, even though you haven't been on for a while, Lindsay, haven't you?
Yes, Scotty there, Uncle John, Hoofy.
Yes, they are. She hasn't forgotten you.
No, lots of regular players there. So it's $10 to buy into this tournament.
And you get 1,000 chips.
Yes, and the blinds, because it's a sit and go, will be going up every 10 hands to give this game
That's correct. And it's all very clear here. It tells you what the blinds are, just at the top of the screen there in that little rectangle. Blinds 40-80. Small blind 40, big blind 80.
Yep, and then underneath that you can see the pot. That's what's in the pot.
In the middle there, that's the little stack of green chips and a yellow chip there. That adds up to 900. That's very useful to know what the size of the pot is. Helps you to determine how much you want to bet. And to look forward to how much you're going to rake into your stack.
So if we've got some brand new players just looking at this table for the first time, they're going to say, "Oh, what's going on?" It's No Limit, Texas Hold'em, that we watch on Poker Night Live.
Yes, you get dealt 2 cards, In the live game or in the real game on the net, of course, you don't see all the cards. This is a speciality of Poker Night Live. This is so we can really learn everything is... Oh, just let's stop a minute, Lyndsay. Look at this. We've got aces and aces.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to see them both try and see how they can get paid. They are. He's bet 160. He's raised 480. I don't want to frighten him off, he's saying. Diesel, is he going to re-raise? That's the question. What do you think?
I think he will, yeah.
He does.
All in.
And all in. Oh, no. But the ace of hearts has got a chance. It could go runner-runner. It's not going to happen.
No.
And it's a split pot.
Yeah.
Very unusual, isn't it? Aces against aces. Wow.
Yeah, they're both sitting there unaware that all the aces are out of the pack. They've got no chance of hitting their tricks.
That's right. And both so excited before that pre-flop thinking, oh, how could he have called that raise?
Yes.
I've got him, I've got him, I've got him.
And they're both sitting there with the same.
And then, of course, Diesel terrified when he sees that Scotty's got the ace of hearts and there's 2 hearts and a flop and thinking, I can't believe I'm going to lose like this.
Lose with his aces to a flush. He could have.
He could have done, but he was about a 25 to 1 shot to lose from that position because it had to go runner, runner, heart, heart.
Yes.
So not too likely.
Hoofy's got ace king now. Ooh.
Anyway, as you were saying, everyone gets dealt 2 cards. Obviously, they get the cards are dealt face down and other people can't see them. And it all starts from where, Lyndsay?
It all starts from the small blind and the big blind to the left of the dealer button.
That little white, that's right, to the left of the dealer button. That's that white button, and that's sort of where the person would be dealing from.
Yes, and that moves around
Clockwise.
one place. Yep, clockwise after every hand, which means everyone's putting the blinds in. It's fair.
There's a bit of poker lingo you have to pick up on, but you'll pick it up along the way if you're new to the game. The person to speak directly after the big blind is called under the gun. The person who's sat on the dealer's button is called on the button.
Yes, and we'll talk a bit about position later on because where the dealer button is determines your position on the table, and that's...
And it determines your betting position, doesn't it? It means that you can see what other people do before you have to act yourself. And being able to see that, of course, is a great advantage. Person prior to the dealer's button is called the cutoff. And little bit by little bit, you'll find all little bits of poker lingo. Some of the different hands have different names, which is quite fun. In fact, the whole game is quite fun.
And it's very easy to pick up, isn't it? The basic structure of the game is very easy to pick up, and the best way is just to watch, really.
Yeah, well, the best thing is just to stay tuned to Poker Night Live because... Yes, we won the award for the best gaming programme. But seriously, I think it is the best place to learn poker. You see everything here. If you've got a problem, please email us in. We're desperate for your emails. We love them. Or text in. We love it.
That's all you have to do. You can get in touch with us and we'll read your question out live on the show and help you with it. You can text 62211 or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
So we want to have a really chirpy night on the emails tonight.
And we want you to be self-critical. We want to know what you think your 3 biggest mistakes are, the mistakes you make in your game.
The faults in your game, the weaknesses in your game, anything on that theme. If you've got 20, only give us the top 3.
Yes. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to fit mine into one email, but but there are lots of common ones which are there.
You could get a repetitive strain injury.
I know, typing them all out. I'll be there all night. But other people you'll probably find will be making similar mistakes, so we can help each other out.
Look at this one. Hit the trip queens on the flop. Oh, very nice too. Scotty takes down 1380. And look at what a fine shape he's in, and we've lost one.
Yes, we lose Nash.
Nash is gone. He didn't have much of a hand, I have to admit. And he was against a monster, trip queens.
As soon as he hit his ace on the turn, then it was curtains, wasn't it?
Yes, there was no escape.
Thought he had a hand.
Right, another big hand here. Aces again for Mordem. No one's got a king, thank goodness for him. And it's full house. Why is it a full house? Because it's 3 kings and 2 aces.
Yes. But Hoofy had a full house as well, didn't he?
He had 3 kings and 2 tens, so it wasn't as good. But he got the little remainder of the chips. But the full house was best full house was 3 kings and 2 aces.
3 of a kind and 1 pair.
Yeah. So to determine which is bigger, if they've both got the same 3 part of the full house, then you look to the pair to see who's got the biggest pair,
Yeah.
and that'll determine which is the superior full house.
And then Texas Hold'em, and in poker in general, brilliant hand, a full house. You don't get one of those coming along very often.
No. Very nice. Ace is a high card in poker. Descends down, ace, king, queen, jack, 10, so on. So your top flush will be an ace flush.
Yep, if you have 5 hearts to make your flush, then and another player has 5 hearts to make a flush, it depends on who has the higher
card.
of the suit.
And basically the higher flush.
Yeah.
The only way a lower card could win in the battle of the flushes would be... Oops, is it a trick question?
If it was on the board and they
No.
both...
If it was a straight flush.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
You could have an ace flush, but I could have a flush 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, say.
Yes.
That would be a straight flush, and that would beat an ace flush.
Yeah.
So that's the next level up.
And that's the best hand you can have, is the straight
Not
flush.
yes. Well, the actual best hand is
The
the
royal flush,
royal
yeah.
flush. That's right, which is top of the shop. Ace, king, queen, jack, 10,
All
all
the
the
same
same suit, and that's called.
The royal flush.
That's it. Brilliant. So bit by bit, if you are beginning, it's all coming clear to you.
Another full house.
Unbelievable.
And it's maudlin again.
In fact, there was a full house on the board anyway.
There
So everyone
was.
playing had a full house. They
Yeah.
had 3 sevens and 2 kings, but he had the superior one because he had 3 kings and 2 sevens.
Yes, he had a king in his hand,
Yeah.
so he got the better one again.
Well, we're down to 6. It's rocking and rolling, this sit and go. The blinds now are 81.60. Hoofy there. Cranks it up to 480. And he's a good opportunist play there by Hoof.
Taking the blinds.
Yep. Late position there, and he took advantage of it.
Yeah, because he had no callers.
He just had, it was a battle. It's him against the blinds, and
Yes.
he thought, well, I've got a pair. If all else goes wrong, even if they've got 2 big cards, my pair is favoured against 2 big cards.
Yes.
Of
And
course,
chances are, if you got a call out of the blinds, it would probably only be one of them, so you'd end up heads up.
yes, in which case he'd be a small favourite.
Yes.
Difficult to play, however, because he'd never know where he was with the small pair unless he'd hit the 4.
Yeah.
Then he'd know very much where he was. He'd be a big smile on his face.
So we're looking for the best 5-card hand.
That's
And
right.
that-
Always think of the best 5 cards. Is the best way, isn't it, Lyndsay?
Yes, because it doesn't matter if they're on the board or in your hand. You can use a combination of both, you know. But if the best 5-card hand is on the board, then it would be a split pot.
Yeah, and when you look at the best 5 cards, when you name the 5 cards, get in the habit of naming what the 5-card hand is.
Yeah.
And the reason is because if ever it's a situation which is very close, people say, oh, well, does my kicker, I don't know if my kicker is in play.
Yeah.
Well, if you always name that 5-card hand to yourself, you'll be able to work out if it's relevant or
You know
not.
when the kicker becomes involved.
That's right. If you're starting off, a good little thing to practice with is when you see the flop is to work out what the best possible hand could be.
Yeah. And it's worth doing that loads of times before
Yes.
you even start to
That's
play.
right. In fact, I often say, look what the best 3 hands are.
Yeah.
And just keep on practicing it.
Practice them, make notes.
And the reason is when you play the game, when you connect with the flop in any way, it's very important to realise where in the pecking order of hands your hand actually is.
Yeah, because if you hit a pair, often you do, especially when you're starting out, you get carried away by that pair, but you forget that it's a 5-card hand. So
Yeah, and there's loads of possibilities. Like if we look at that flop now and you hit a pair, well, hang on, there's a possible straight, there's a possible flush.
Yeah.
And very possible straight there now, because there's 8, 9, 10 jack on, and there is a straight, because there you are, the queen was in his hand.
And also, if someone had 2 8s or 2 5s in their pocket cards, they'll
That's-
have 3 of a kind.
That's
which
3
would
of a
beat you.
kind, and they could have 2 pair. There's so many hands out there. So it's very important to be aware of how many hands are out there.
And you have to be aware when your hand is vulnerable.
Yeah, and
And-
then you'll know more or less where you are in that ladder.
Yeah. If you've got a hand which can be outdrawn, then you've got to be very careful.
It's just like if you think you're quite good at tennis, it's very aware to be good to be aware of how many tennis players there are out there and actually where you are on that ladder. It's probably not too high. You might be the best in your club, but on that whole ladder of tennis players, you're still probably on the lower rungs.
Quite far down the pecking order, yeah.
So we look at our poker hands. If our poker hand is way down the pecking order of hands, watch out.
Yeah.
And if you're betting and someone still wants to be there, watch out. Why are they there?
Why are they staying in the pot? Look at that. So, Hoofy had the kings.
Yep.
Scotty ace king hit his ace.
Well, he hit 2 pair, didn't he? That's the thing. Scotty hit 2 pair aces and kings, but of course that doesn't beat trips because Hoofy made trip kings.
And after the flop, Scotty thought he was good.
Look at this. We've got all in here again. 2 people all in, and he's got an ace of hearts in his hand. And he's got a possible straight draw, flush draw, and he's made the straight.
Yes.
Ace, king, queen, jack, 10. But look what's happened. Look what's happened.
Uncle John's got the straight as well.
And Snowblind.
Yeah, with the
He's got the straight as well.
Yeah.
They'd all got the straight. It was a 3-way share.
Yes. Morden then,
That's
loads of outs he had, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he had a chance to make a flush as well. So we're down to 4. Now this becomes very interesting.
Short-handed now.
And why is it interesting?
Because we're on the bubble point now, where the next player to go out is not going to make any money from this tournament. It's the top 3 places which are played.
In fact, it's split up that the winner gets 50%, second gets 30%, and third gets 20%.
So the next one to go out is the bubble boy.
And as Lyndsay said, unfortunately, the bubble boy
gets no money. And there it is, it's Morden.
Oh dear. And Morden thinking, why I had that hand before? If I'd hit a flush, it would have all been so different. I could have wiped them out. And oh, how uncruel this game is.
In one hand, everything changes.
Uncle John's back in it. Is this game really rocketing along, or is it me?
Very, very quick. We seem to... we had a full table and they're just dropping like flies.
But the action is so fast.
Yes.
This is the liveliest game I've seen for ages. It's brilliant. Oh.
Great to watch, but can be quite daunting to be involved in the middle of it when it's going so fast.
And look at this, very interesting here. We've got another split pot. 2 pairs, 3s and 2s. There we go, 3s and 2s
with king kickers.
A king kicker.
Yeah.
So that's where we say our 5-card hand.
Yeah.
Pair of 2s, pair of 3s, 5th card, a king.
Would be the kicker, and they both had a king.
Now, if they'd both had, say, a jack and a 10, one had a jack and a 10,
the one with the jack.
No, it wouldn't, because there was the queen on the flop.
The board,
I tricked you, Lyndsay, I'm sorry.
You did, and I got sucked in. But yeah, no.
But it's good to trick you because that's a good example, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it would be 3s and 2s with the queen, so they'd all play the board.
Yeah.
That's what they'd say, I play the board.
Whereas if one had an ace, one had a king, the one with the ace would
that's
take it.
So that shows you how you have to be so aware all the time.
Always looking for what that hand is.
That's right, and that's why we should name that 5-card hand and we'll know where we are. Yep, Snowblind is a goner, I'm afraid. 8-9 didn't connect, and Hoofy's jack was enough. He had kings and 7s with a jack, 2 pairs with a jack. So it's a heads up now, Hoofy against Uncle John. The blinds are big.
Yeah, 320, 640.
And it's all action, Uncle John's in. And Hoofy's a big favourite here, but a possible straight draw. He needs a 7 or a 2. It doesn't come. It's a pair of 6s with king, 10, 9 is the 5-card hand. And the winner is Hoofy, who played very well. And I'll tell you that was one of the liveliest...
The pace of it was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Sit and goes I've seen for ages. I thought it was brilliant.
There's the chip movement graph.
Look at that. And Hoofy, look at him there. He's like this excited caterpillar proudly lifting his head in the air.
Yes. Look at that at the end. But very, very fast pace of that tournament, wasn't it? We had a full table. It all looked very steady, and then it just went bang, 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 and we lost.
Tell you what, I'd like to know the time of that. I think it was a record.
Yeah.
I think it was a new world record for the fastest sit and go.
Yeah. I've got an email, James.
You know what? I think that was about half the time of normal.
They're normally about 45 minutes to 45 to an hour.
The guys in the back, they're so good. They say it was only 20 minutes it took.
Oh, that is
scintillatingly fast.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. This is from Flirty Liz, James. She was watching you last night with Nick when you were playing.
I like the name a lot.
And Liz says, "Hi, Linds and James. Great show as always. Last night, Nick read out my email and James gave me some very helpful and encouraging advice about my poker."
Ooh.
Good stuff. James also said some very nice things about me based on my poker name, whereupon Nick said that I could be a 50-year-old man. James, I'm definitely female with flirty long dark hair, flirty big brown eyes, and another couple of outstanding assets. I think we know what she means there. As anytime you're passing through Yorkshire, give me a call and we'll go out for a pizza. Or maybe salad with balsamic vinegar dressing.
It's getting very hot in here.
Yeah, she's coming on to you, and she finishes the email by saying, "Great suit, by the way. You do look very dapper tonight, James."
Thank you very much. Well, Liz, I have to admit, I was hoping you were going to contact the show tonight, so I thought, well, I'll try and dress up a bit. It's the first time I've worn a tie on Poker Night Live.
You do look very smart.
I don't have to wear it for the pizza, though, do I? 'Cause I might...
Or the salad.
Well, what do you think of that?
Well, the tie's obviously definitely working. Maybe
It is,
you should wear a tie more often. Okay, if you want to send an email into us like Liz to chat James up or ask a poker question, then you can text us here in the studio 62211. There's the number 62211, or you can email just like Flirty Liz did, so she could say all those nice things about James. poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Right, something different, James.
Okay, we'll go to a cash game. I'll tell you what, Flirty Liz, how about you get the ball rolling, and I'd really appreciate it. How about you send another email in and give us your 3 poker mistakes. And you could start the ball rolling. That would be brilliant. I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you into a little secret. There's a very cheeky comment from the back room there. They said your biggest mistake was emailing James. Thank you very much.
They're in a mean mood.
They are in a
They've
mean
been
mood.
picking on me since I walked in here.
Yeah. From the moment they said that you were a Chantel lookalike, I knew there was going to be trouble.
Since I walked through the door, Lyndsay looks like Chantel. I look nothing like her. Quit it now, or me and James are going to come round there and sort you out.
Exactly. Look what we did to Sooners. We're not frightened.
Don't mess with us Northerners.
Sooners was meant to be the big tough boy. Yeah, look at him now. You be careful, little boys in the back.
We appreciate your email, though, Liz. Anyway, it's very nice. And we want poker mistakes.
Actually, I'll tell you what, it was a really lively email. It was fun. Thanks a lot, Liz.
Yeah, so maybe Liz can look at a game, analyse it, and try and pinpoint her 3 main mistakes in her game.
Liz, I believe, started off life as a limit player with Hold'em, and she's just making the transition now to no limit.
Right, so that's something I've never done, played limits.
Oh, right.
We always watch No Limits on Poker Night
So
Live.
that's it was to be natural that you've taken your step towards no limit. But that's okay, that's fine.
But you have to be careful, don't you, when switching to no limit, because you can lose the lot in one hand.
From limit to no limit, whereas a different with being a different structure, because limit you've got a limited structure, yes. So the no limit is different concepts, i.e. basically you've got more decisions to make.
Yeah.
Because calling decisions, whereas at the end in limit, if you're on a flush draw and there's people in the pot, well, it's a no-brainer. You're going to call for your flush draw. You're always getting odds.
Yeah.
Because you're getting paid far more than 4 to 1. You're
Right.
probably getting 9 to 1 your money, so you just have to call. Whereas in no limit, the person will have priced the bet where it's making it probably wrong odds for you to call the flush. So you have to be able to put hands down.
Right.
And in no limit, that is probably one of the main things. You have to be able to put a hand down. Money saved is just as tasty as money won.
Yeah, and don't get attached to those hands. If you don't hit your flop, don't keep betting out.
Or don't overplay one pair. If you've raised and you've bet with your one pair and someone's still there, well, start to say, why are they there? Piece the jigsaw together.
Yeah. I guess in limit as well, it can be quite restrictive if you're sitting there with the nuts and you really feel you've got the nuts. There's a limit to the amount you can bet.
You want to be whacking more in there, don't you?
And you can't. I want to bet more. So this is a cash game.
Yes.
50 cent, $1.
And they can sit down with a maximum of $100. And I'll tell you what, last night this was very lively, and this has started off the same way again, because look at this, there's a good amount of money around the table, and it's only just started. Last night they built up to a lot of money on this table.
Yeah.
It was a very, very good game.
So it's 100 times the big blind you can sit down with.
Yes, you could sit down with as little as $10, but you really wouldn't have much play.
No, you want to give yourself a head start.
Well, if you've got more money, it means you've got more weapons in your arsenal.
Yeah.
So therefore, you don't just have to win the hand on merit. You might be able to push someone off a hand.
Be a bit of a bully.
Yeah, you can represent a hand and then maybe bet them out of it, etc., etc. Whereas if you've only got a small stack of chips, you've basically got to find your hand, buy your raffle ticket with your few chips, shut your eyes and hope it wins.
And as you know, in poker, you can go so many hands without getting decent pocket cards, and if that doesn't happen, the blinds are going to eat you up.
Also, if you've only got so many chips, you pop it in and you get quite a few people calling. Okay, you probably will be getting value, but you could also have a long run of not winning that hand because someone would keep on getting lucky against you. So therefore, generally, you need to have a few more chips to play with. I mean, you can play, we can go into the style of playing with a short stack. It is possible to play skillfully with a short stack. It just doesn't give you as many options. So basically, when you have a choice, you should probably play the size of game where you can afford to buy in for the amount which will give you the most options.
Yeah, so that's what you should be taking into consideration when you're thinking about what game you're going to join online.
Yes.
You need to be able to afford it.
And basically, what you should look at is actually, you should look at the blinds, and you should look at the maximum buy-in of the table. And I personally think, and this is quite scary, I think that you should have 30 buy-ins at that table
at the maximum
as your bankroll. Yes. So therefore, even in a 50-cent $1 game,
you need a good bankroll.
$100 buy-in.
Yeah.
Times 30, we're talking $3,000. I think your bankroll should be. Certain people think it should be higher.
Right.
Certain people will say 4,000. I'm saying 3,000.
So it looks like a very small stakes game. In reality, it's completely different.
Yeah. You might need it, but you need to be able to feel free if you got unlucky to buy in again, etc., etc., and not worry about the fluctuations.
Yeah.
And with that size bankroll, you wouldn't worry. If you thought you were playing well, you wouldn't worry about the fluctuations, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
If you don't think you've got that, pick the size game. On the internet, there's a wide choice of games.
Isn't there? It can be quite daunting when you first start.
Well, you look at this big list.
You've got no idea where to start and what kind of game should I get involved in. Should it be tournaments? Should it be cash games? Should it be a single table tournament? And some people are like, ooh, don't know where to start.
Well, initially you can play single table tournaments. We show quite a lot of them on here. And you also know exactly how much you're committed for. Yes,
because you, like the one we showed before, you buy in for $10. That's all you spend because you're playing with chips, whereas in these cash games, that's dollars under their
real
names,
money.
It's not chips.
That's real money there, Still, the money game is a great game, and it's certainly one we'll be following and studying. And the good thing about it is you can be selective in a money game. Why is that?
Because you can leave when you want.
That's true, but why is it there's not so much pressure on you to play a hand?
Because you can, well,
there's one thing
the
about
blinds
the structure.
don't
Go on.
change.
That's
they
it.
stay at 50 cents, $1. So
whereas in a tournament,
they go up and up and up. And if you're not playing, you can't sit there and wait for the perfect hand all night because the blinds go up and up and will eat your stack up.
Lyndsay's just given a perfect answer there. So.
I'm learning.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. The reason is you can be selective because the blinds do not go up in a money game. They stay the same. So therefore, why should you have a decent stack to start with? Because we translate our stack into how many big blinds we've got.
Yes.
So therefore, if you've got a long time, you can go round after round after round and find a hand you wish to play.
Yeah.
And on the internet, you'd be surprised, even though you've waited forever and put your chips in, there's probably still someone who wants to play against you. They don't always take that much notice.
Yes.
If they are taking notice and they won't play when you put a bet in, start putting a bet in with lesser hands and take the money for nothing then.
Yes, if you notice when you're watching that table they're playing a very, very tight game and only playing with great cards, then you can turn up the aggression a bit more and try and you can make them put down winning hands.
Yes, because you know what my favourite thing is in the game to say? Is because I believe in poker one should be a contrarian.
Yeah.
So therefore, if they're very passive, just as you said, you should be the aggressor.
Yes.
If they're being very aggressive, they all want to make all the moves, sit back, wait for the big hands, and you be passive.
And adapt your
Be passive, but play
aggression.
monster hands against these people who want to make all the moves.
Yeah. So you have to be observant. You have to change the way you're playing
According
by
to
the style
table.
of the table. Yeah.
And also, but you've got to keep note to make sure that the table suddenly, perhaps someone gets knocked out, someone else gets knocked out, maybe the character of the table will change.
Yes.
So you've got to be au fait with whether that character is still the same or not.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a bit to do when we play. Wow, you think that sounds like hard work, but no, that's what really makes it fun, and that's why poker is such a brilliant game, and that's why it's the fastest growing game we've ever seen, ever.
Yeah.
It's just nothing is mushroomed like the game of poker has, and it's because there's so much to it, but it's still great fun.
Yeah, and most of that is when you're not actually involved in a pot yourself. There's still work to be done. Just because you're not getting involved in that particular pot because you don't have the cards, you've still got to be observing, watching people, trying
Yes.
to work out their style of play, and then you're prepared for when you do get the cards, and you can take advantage of that.
That's right. It's amazing. I mean, just wherever you just see people, oh, they get so excited when they're just going to be playing poker again. It's amazing. Right, we'll see what's going on in this cash game. We've got Johan Harren. He's a good player. He a regular on Poker Night Live. He's just called for one. Buffy Be Good.
Yes, I've seen Buffy Be Good before. We're getting your emails through now. We're looking for the 3 mistakes, the main mistakes which you think that you're making in your game. It's amateur night tonight, and of course all beginners make mistakes. Well, all professionals make mistakes.
Everyone
still.
makes mistakes. We've just got to be aware of them.
Yeah, we want you to try and analyse your game and be self-critical and see if you can point out what the main mistakes are in your game, and send the 3 into us, and we'll try and give you some tips and advice so you can nip them in the bud before they become a serious problem and become a bad habit which sticks with you as you become a better player. So send them in 62211, or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk and get some of those. Help each other out as well, because I think a lot of them which we get through are going to be quite common.
Okay, Duff, Queen Jack, under the gun. I'd be quite happy to... Oh, he's raised it up. This is very aggressive. Does he think this table is passive? Very chirpy play from Duff there.
Is that because of the position he's in? Because
Well, no, this is a hand they're not expecting him to have under the gun. They think he's got a much stronger hand than that.
Yeah.
That is a hand you wouldn't... It's not a textbook play to raise with Queen Jack under the gun. What I think, it's Trevor, Duff Miver. It used to be Tragic Trev, I believe. Trev there decided this table's possibly a little bit tight, a little bit passive, so he thinks, well, I'm going to just liven it up a bit.
they'll put him on kings or maybe aces.
Or big ace, 2 big cards or something. We've got a classic. We'll see what the raise is. I said most nights a table normally finds its own level for raises. It's like they set out, 4's a raise or 3's a standard raise.
Yeah.
The table often finds its own level. And here we seem to have found 4 as being the raise for the night.
4 times the big blind?
4 times the big blind, in which case it's $4, because the big blind is $1. And Beardy is connected with a queen. So he's got 2 kings, 2 queens with an ace. That's his 5-card poker hand. If anyone had 2 hearts, they would have a flush. If anyone had a king, they would have trip kings. But they haven't.
He's going to take it with his 2 pairs and his ace kicker.
And Johan Harren's got 2 pairs, but he's only got a 6. So he puts that down. And what's... Oh, yes, Snowblind is actually representing... What's he trying to represent?
Maybe.
Yes, exactly. Or
The flush.
The flush.
Yeah.
It's looking like he was playing the hand with the flush draw,
Yeah.
and he's hit the flush on the end. And he's
Okay.
represented the flush. Oops, but he got called.
Yeah, Beardy didn't put it down.
He didn't believe it. Wow, some interesting poker there.
Yeah.
The only thing is it's no blind there. It's possible that his re-raise there was a bit too big.
Yeah, yeah. And it screamed out bluff to Beardy.
It screamed out, you don't want me to call it. Whereas if he'd gone 6 with 15,
Yeah.
you want me to call it. It might be that bet was just a bit... he might have had more chance... I think possibly Beardy would have called it anyway. But he might have had more chance of getting the bluff past him if he actually hadn't raised quite as much.
Too much, yeah.
Because if you had the flush there, you'd want to be paid, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd try to bleed a bit more money out of him.
I think so.
Yeah. It was a bet that meant he wanted him to fold, which made Beardy think, hang on a minute, why does he want me to fold?
Exactly.
Because he hasn't got a better hand than me. But good play by Beardy then to stick with it and have the confidence to call it. And he's up to $132 now.
And Bambi just makes up the small blind. By that we mean he just popped in the 50 cents. But Beardy thought that looked a bit weak, and also he's got a nice pair of fours. He says, go on, if you want to play, it's going to cost you more money.
That's one of the
Pair
most
of
common
eights.
mistakes, isn't it? People just calling the small blind because they only have to put a little bit more in. And then if they get raised, they end up putting it down and they've just wasted another small blind.
Well, look what we have here. We have the multi-table tourney.
There it is, multi-table tourney. 63 players left, James.
Yeah, we started with 320 players on this table, on this tourney, and it spread around 40 tables.
It's a big entrance there.
And they're playing for some good prize money. The winner tonight, in fact, I'll tell you, in third place, he's going to get $368. This is for $10.
Yeah.
Second place is going to be $560. And first place is going to be $880.
Good prizes there.
It's a good return for a tenner.
Yeah, definitely. 8 tables left now, though, from 40, so we've lost a lot already.
Yep.
And the average stack
Oh, that's good. Can you tell us what the average stack is, Lyndsay?
is around, well, about a few minutes ago, it was around 7,600.
Right, excellent.
So we can try and gauge.
Yeah, we can gauge how they're doing here. Right, what we'll do is also, we'll see what the blinds are. The blinds are 150, 300. Now, we can see here that people here have all, at this table, apart from Smeagol, who's just got about, is that 3,000?
3,920.
No, 3,920. He's just getting near the area where he's getting a bit worried. Because if we divide his stack by his number of big blinds, we see he's just got over 10 big...
yeah.
Well, he's got 13 big blinds.
And around 7, he should start to get pretty worried.
That's where I think that's where you've still got enough, I believe at the 7 big blinds, you've still got enough chips to get someone to pass a hand.
Yeah.
Because if especially against someone who's average stack, because they're going to be loath to give up 7 big blinds, basically. So you might just about make them waver and pass. Once it goes beyond that, you get far more people call you, which means now you have to win the hand on merit.
Below that, people think you're often just doing it out of desperation.
They realise you're desperate, yeah. If you still have the chance that they pass, it means that that hand will win more.
Yeah.
Because it'll win the percentage of times that they pass.
Yeah.
Then it will win whatever its percentage chance is when they call.
Yes.
So now you add those two together.
Right.
Which will always be more profitable than just betting a hand when there's no other way that it has to win.
Yeah.
So that added extra of the chance of someone passing is massive.
It down.
Now this is a massive thing in poker altogether.
That you can win without having the best hand.
Exactly. So therefore what this means is in poker you can't just be a passive player.
No.
Because if you only call, you can never win by people passing.
Yeah.
So therefore you have to be aggressive at times in poker, because we have to, and that's whether you're playing money games, tournaments, sit and goes, whatever. You have to be aggressive so you can capture that time when people have to make a decision and they maybe
put
pass.
hands down. Yeah, you have to take the initiative. And
Exactly. And some of the time they'll be putting the better hand down.
Yeah.
Because they'll have read it wrong.
that's why it's such a unique game, because you can win without having the best
Yeah,
cards.
that's right.
The G3 there is running away with the chip lead, 31,858. He's by far ahead of the other ones on this table.
That's
The
right.
rest are quite in a similar position.
G4 only came second on Pop Idol, but G3's winning this one.
Yes, but who made more money? G4 did.
Made more than Steve Brookstein, I'm
They
afraid.
certainly did, didn't they? So,
I actually thought Steve Brookstein had a good voice.
yeah,
He's got a soulful voice.
yes,
He fell out with Simon Cowell, though.
yeah. I interviewed him for a radio show
Oh,
once,
did you?
yeah. So,
I must admit, some of the girls think he's a bit...
smarmy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what you thought?
yeah. I wasn't going to say that, but yeah. I don't know why. Just that, you know, when someone just smiles, that little glint in their eye all the time, and it's just a bit, you want everyone to think that you're so nice.
Did he chat you up?
No, not at all.
Didn't he?
No, he's not my type anyway.
No, but it wasn't your choice. It was his. He was deciding. No.
No.
But he was a bit smart.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, when you just don't get
Yeah.
someone. But yeah, good voice.
I thought he had a really good voice.
But I think G4 seem to come across as the nicer characters, and that's why.
Yeah. But of the similar type of band, I think Diva are better.
El Divo.
El Divo,
Yes,
is it?
yeah.
El Divo, that's what it is. Yeah, I think they're better.
Number one in America now.
Eh?
Number one in America, El Divo.
Incredible, isn't
yeah.
it?
Which is a hard thing to do.
It is. Very quickly, the other one who's broken into America, James Blunt.
Yes.
Keep the name of James going there.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, he's in the album charts and the single charts.
Yes, he is.
Poor old
Doing
Robbie
really
Williams
well.
has tried all his life to get in America, can never have a hit.
Robbie Williams went to his gig though, and they said it was quite funny how Robbie spent his whole life trying to break America, and now he's just kind of
Buying
there
James
at
Blunt
the James
records.
Blunt gig. Yeah. It only takes one song though, doesn't it, to do it? One song.
I think he's a great album, James Blunt. I think it's a brilliant one. I might put James Blunt on in the car when I'm taking Flirty Liz for a pizza.
Yeah, you could do.
Yeah.
I think that'll do the trick. Play You're Beautiful and you'll win her
you're
over.
beautiful, yeah. Do you think that'll be it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's what I'll do.
Valentine's Day coming up as well. See,
Wow.
love is in the air.
I could have the pizza shaped in a heart.
Yeah. Got it all planned out. I got Robbie there.
Okay, we lost him, I'm afraid. Right, let's have a look at our low stack here now, because the blinds will be, that clock's ticking away. So SQM, 3,500, Smeagol, both must be feeling the pressure a little bit here. And look, a big hand there for Running Lee, it's Cowboys. He doesn't want to hit trips though. Oh, because he's hit trips and it's given him a straight.
Yes.
It was a commentator's curse, I'm afraid. I said he doesn't want to hit trips, and there it was.
Yeah, but Running Lee must have been sitting there thinking, brilliant, I've hit the king. And it was the card that was going to give...
Oh my goodness.
give
I felt
Smeagol
it. I
the
said it.
top.
I felt it. I said it's unbelievable, isn't it? Just these things happen. Wow. How cruel.
And now he's
And now he's under pressure.
Yeah, very under pressure now. Blinds have gone up
Well,
as well.
good on him. He's decided to get his chips straight in there. That was excellent play from Running Lee. He's given himself a chance. Very, very good.
Yeah.
He realised he'd been unlucky. His time had now become really shortened. He had no play left. He said, Jack 9, fair enough, let's get it in.
Yeah, I might not get a better hand than
Let's
Jack.
I need to get lucky straight away. Excellent play from Running Lee. Very unlucky Running Lee. Very good reaction. You followed it up with a superb play.
He got straight back on his
Yep,
bike after
exactly.
falling off. Hits two pair. And he's in better shape now.
Look at this, as an accident about to happen. Cowshed Tom has gone all in. Of course, he's walked into ladies. And only a 9 will save him. but it's not there. And G3, in full harmony, take the chips.
And your flirty Liz has been back in touch, James, with her 3 mistakes.
Okay.
Her main 3 mistakes. So we're going to get some of those before the break. We're asking people to name their 3 most common poker mistakes, the ones they're aware of in their game, and you need to look at your game and analyse it and try and pick out the things which you know you're doing wrong.
Yeah. And let's have lots more of you. But let's get a good compilation of these mistakes, because it'll be excellent. We can have. I think we'll make some really good progress with this tonight. So please join in. But if you want to just text in about something else, feel free, or email in, feel free, or just a bit of light-hearted banter. We love it all. We just like to be interactive, don't we?
We do. That's what the show's all about. All your questions, any comments, poker stories, anything. But we're going to try and, because it's amateur night, we're going to try and help each other out by looking at the most common mistakes people make. And it doesn't really matter if you are a new player, because whatever level of your game you're at, whichever stage you're at, we all make mistakes. So if you want to get some through to us, you can send them through to the studio, 62211, that's the text number. Or if you want to email us, the address is poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Valandil with his big slick. Oh, Jeffrey's, hits Jack.
He has. Oops. Valanda's. Oh, look at this! It's going to be trouble. He's clicked his ace.
I've got a nice pot building up there.
There is a big pot building up here, Lyndsay. 1600 he's bet, and he'll get called that. That's for sure. Oh, it wasn't an 8. He needed an 8 to cause trouble. He's going to get paid here. He'll definitely get paid the 16. I hope G3's not going to try anything silly. No, he doesn't. But he just pays him off. Well, Valanda's there, value bets along the way, felt he was winning, took the right amount off him, got paid. Okay, let's have a look at one more hand here. Valanda's has got another hand here. He's gone up nicely to 20,000. He's just flat called with his pair of 9s. The Rodman has got the bottom pair and a backdoor flush. That backdoor flush has gone out the window now. I don't know whether Valandis is going to be nervous as the queen. No, he still puts in a bet, 1,200 into a pot of 2,600. He calls, and look, he wanted to have an ace or a 3. He didn't get it. Valandis decided not to bet anymore just in case he was behind. He thought he was only going to get called if he was losing, so... interesting play.
It was. Good stuff. We'll leave it for a bit and get some more multi-table action, but I'm going to get some emails.
Good.
Look at some of these mistakes. I'll start with Flirty Liz, because we did ask her to get the ball rolling, and she says that she's happy to confess her top 3 mistakes. Am I only allowed 3? Yeah, if you're a new player like me, we'd be here all night if we had more than 3. The first one is not being aggressive enough. She says, I think I see too many monsters under the bed. Number 2 is being a bone dogger or cling on. I lost my whole $8 buy-in with a pair of jacks today. And number 3 is not spotting when my opponent has made a straight. Now that is a very good one. That's something that I'm very guilty of. She says, I'm working on these mistakes with the help of PNL and the excellent presenters. And she says, chatting up James on TV is not, in capital letters, a mistake.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Well, I'm very pleased that you wanted to chat me. I'm getting all flustered.
But they are very common mistakes, those, James, aren't they?
Yes.
Or is it Frank?
Well, I've got a bit of a problem, Liz.
It's very good, that, you know.
Right, so we have a look at the mistakes here. Not being aggressive enough. Okay. Right, this obviously we just highlighted just before you sent the email, in fact, how important it is to be able to capture the possibility of winning when perhaps you're not even favourite, or the possibility of people putting hands down, because then that percentage is added to your winning possibility of hands in reality. So therefore you have to be able to be aggressive. The thing to do there is, if you're playing a cash game, you've got a chance to be selective. So therefore, to be tight, aggressive is definitely a winning style in cash games. So if you're playing selectively, you should have the confidence to be aggressive. I'm sure you can do that one, Liz. Okay? Next one.
Being a bone dogger or a Klingon.
All right.
Getting attached to hands, isn't it? And,
Yes.
And keep betting them out when you haven't hit your flop. Is that right?
We touched on that as well briefly, didn't we? It's a big mistake people make. They get one pair and they forget. Put that one pair in perspective with that flop. Now, what hands are out there? Find on the ladder of hands where that hand is. If you're betting, if you've raised pre-flop, if you've followed it up with a raise, you've been playing positively. If someone is still there, watch out and start to wonder why they are there. It's quite possible now you can even possibly sometimes just now check and call from then on, because what that means is you probably won't end up losing your whole stack. And at the very end, if you check on the river, the person might bet and they might have you beaten and you call, but they'll pick a price like a value bet. But there's another person who will have not made his hand and will buy and try and bluff you, and you'll capture that bluff.
Yeah.
So as the whole package, sometimes you'll pay off, but sometimes you'll be capturing a bluff. So when you've just got one pair, be careful if they're still there after a lot of betting from you.
Yeah. And the third one, not spotting when my opponent has made a straight. I'm
Yes.
quite bad at that.
It is. It's easy to miss it. You've just got to be aware of it. Just be on straight alert, basically. So just have a look. In fact, I'll tell you what. Even when you're not in a hand, everyone can do this. Keep on practicing and just saying what the best hand is there. Even if you've played for a while, it's no harm to do it, because then you can just look at the flop and second nature, you'll know if a straight is out there or not.
Yeah, but good stuff. Thank you, Liz. Got loads more. We're going to get some more after the break. But
Yeah, that
they're
was very
quite
useful.
common ones, aren't they? Yeah.
Very good.
And very useful. So if you want to tell us yours, you can send them through to us. We'll get some more after the break. 62211 is the text number, or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk, or indeed if you just want to chat me up, because I'm getting a bit jealous of all the attention James is getting tonight. It's not fair. All right, we're going to take a short break. More poker coming up in a few minutes. See you then. Welcome back to Poker Night Live. It's Lyndsay and James with you until 2 o'clock. We've watched some great poker so far, haven't we, James?
Actually, superb. We saw a sit and go which rattled along like I've never seen before.
20 minutes and it was all over.
But it was all action. It was fantastic.
It was. But really good stuff. So we're going to get back to the tables pretty soon. But we've got a theme running tonight. It's amateur night. So we want you to analyse your own game and pinpoint the main mistakes which you're making. We're going to try and nip them in the bud.
Self-critical. What are your 3 biggest problems? What are your 3 mistakes you keep on making? Email them in, text them in, and let's have a look at them all. And we'll have a good assessment on the whole night of mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. I've got one from Lee, James, and he says, great show, I watch it every night via your great website. Anyhow, the problem I have with my poker play is the following. I usually play cash tables in the 50 cent $1, of which I play limit poker. My problems lie when I start to bet with, say, top pair, and no matter what I do, somebody will always call me. And I've found that 10 or 20% of the time, the person who calls me catches his straight or flush on the river, and I get beat, which results in some serious frustration. I'm aware I could get rid of this by simply moving over to no limit poker, but I don't feel ready for that move. And so my question is this: are there any methods or tips you can give me to try and reduce the number of times I lose to a caller on the river, or is it simply down to the cards?
Okay, you're playing limit poker there. You're doing nothing wrong, actually, because the good thing about limit poker is if you're betting a pair, you've got the made hand. If your opponent is on a draw, either a flush draw or a straight draw, you know, they're not going to get that well paid. It's not like in no limit where they could cost you a lot of money. It's a limited amount that you're going to lose. And you can see once that hand has probably been made. The only thing in limit you can do is to try and make it more expensive, is you can try to look to do a check raise against someone occasionally. So you can try to increase the bet. But at the moment, you're doing nothing wrong just betting it. Don't worry about it, because eventually they will not make enough draw hands to make it profitable. You will win money there by having the made hand in limit. In limit, big cards rule. Made hands rule. In no limit, you can play all different sorts of hands because you can get very well paid for them when you connect. So therefore, you don't have to connect as many times, because the one time you might someone who's very stubborn with their one pair and they pay you off. But just carry on with what you're doing, and when you're ready for the transition, make it.
Okay, but thank you for your email, Lee in Manchester. And this is from Simon, aka Iceberger, who says, can I say this is a great show with the right mix of fun and frivolity, as well as detailed poker analysis and discussion.
That's what we like to hear.
Yes, thank you. And he says, I've given some thought to which of my many faults cost me the most chips, and I've decided this is the top 3. The first one is continuity bets. When I have a starting hand, like ace-king, I fire too many bullets after I miss, and I seem to pick the wrong times to make these bets, like when I'm out of position or against too many players. And his second one is paying off when I'm beat. If I have a good hand, like trips or a top pair, etc., and I've charged a straight or flush the correct price to make chasing incorrect, I always pay them off when I know I'm beat after they hit on the river, and I can't seem to stop doing this. And his third one of my good old favourite mistakes, is making up the small blind. Despite making a number of resolutions to stop doing this with marginal hands, I still keep making the small blind up. I then hit a bit of it on the flop, but because I'm out of position, find it hard to know where I am. Poker Tracker backs up that this is one of my major losing positions. I've been playing about 5 months. I play in 50 cent, $1, or $1, $2, no limit cash games. And he says any tips would be gratefully appreciated.
Well, I'd like to say that is just a brilliant email
Yeah.
to start with. Absolutely superb. So I'll give you top marks for that. Next thing I think it's very good is you're obviously taking this game very, very seriously, and I will forecast that you will become a very good winner at this game. That's without even seeing you play. Why? Because also you bothered to go and get Poker Tracker. You want to analyse what's going on. You're taking note of what hands, what positions are not successful for you. All full marks.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's have a look at your points, because we can all learn from these points.
Definitely.
Number 1, this is a very interesting one, continuity bets. Continuity bets. What is a continuity bet? This means when you've raised pre-flop and then you follow up with another bet on the flop, even when you haven't hit the flop. So you're representing that you've hit the flop. So you've raised pre-flop, maybe there's a queen on the flop, so you're representing you've got ace-queen, for example. Right, the comment I would say on continuity bets is there's a couple of things to watch out for. If there's one opponent, that is a good time to do a continuity bet. Because if he's got 2 odd cards, if he hasn't got a pair, it's 2 to 1 against that he's connected with the flop. So therefore, there's a good chance that your continuity bet will work. So as soon as there's 2 opponents, life becomes more difficult. So be prepared maybe not to do one and not to just let it go. Next thing is, don't always do a continuity bet, because then people will just start to be aware that's what you're doing. So therefore, every now and again, you'll vary your play. Every now and again, hit the flop and don't bet with it. So therefore, you'll sometimes let them see you even hit the flop and don't bet sometimes. That will confuse them. Another way, don't bet when you've missed it. So show that sometimes you don't bet when you've missed it. You've got to show them all the possibilities. Then you have more chance of making the continuity bet when you try it. Just trying it religiously all the time will eventually, against aware opponents, cost you a lot of money. So I hope that will help you there. Paying off when I'm beat. That's when you've know that the guy's been calling with a draw hand, and in the end you pay him off. Basically, if you believe all along that he's on this draw hand, well, therefore, try and make it more expensive for him. That's what you need to do. So you really ask a bigger question. If that's where you feel he is, and ask that big question on the turn when there's one card to come. Then you won't have the decision to make whether to pay him off at the end. So if you feel you always pay him off, the way you'll improve your game is actually to slightly overbet with one card to come.
To get him to put it down?
Yes.
So he can't outdraw
Then you won't be paying them off when they make it. The other way is not to bet so much, but then also have the willpower to say, I'm putting on this flush draw, I will be prepared to put my hand down if you make it. But if you can't, the way I would counteract it at the moment would be to bet extra strong.
Yeah.
Last one is a small blind, and this is a very interesting area. What I would say here, a good way to improve this part of your game is, on the small blind, for a start, if I want to make up the small blind and I'm only against the big blind, what I will often do there is not just call, I will actually raise. So I'm declaring I've got a hand. So rather than limping in with two funny cards and not know what to do, I will actually go in with a raise. That will give me the option to follow up with a continuity bet if I want to.
Yeah.
Or possibly hit my flop. So it'll give me more strength because I've already started the story. Look, I've got a better than average hand. So that's a good way of playing a small blind. If you're not prepared to put the raise in with your small blind, it's probably just as well to pass it because you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
If there's a lot of players there, it is a difficult hand to play. Basically, if you make up the small blind, be prepared to throw it away. And don't play these hands, don't get sucked in to playing the hand where you've half hit with your small blind. Because you've got all these people after you. It's too difficult. You're out of position. That's the problem with the hand. You've put money in, but you're always first to speak. It's very difficult. So be prepared to carry on playing if you hit it big style, and be prepared to throw it away if you only half hit it. And then I think your results and your poker track will back it up, that all of a sudden you can make that small blind into a profitable area.
But great email, Simon. Thank you for that. Really good for people to pinpoint their mistakes, because then we can get tips on how to not do those things.
Oh, it's marvellous.
And all improve.
Well, we've had, in fact, 2 very good emails there. I think we've had 6 brilliant points to look at there.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
And loads more to come later on. If you want to send yours through to us, we'd love to see them. So please do. You can text us. The number is 62211. Or you can pop them on an email like Simon did. The address is poker@pokernightllive.co.uk. Right, well, we're going to dip back into our multi-table tourney, James.
Oh, good idea.
Which we were looking at before. Saw some good play there. So let's head over to the table.
Lyndsay, have you got any more info for us?
I will have a look for you now and see if we can get an update on where we are in this tourney.
The blinds now are 400, 800. And we've got J. Chuck with 38,000 here. He looks in good shape.
Yeah, chip
Oh,
leader.
I thought yes, he's the chip leader. I thought he looked in
leader.
good shape. He's a chip leader, closely followed by JC, who's got 36,000. So I think we've got the first and second chip leaders on the table.
We do, yeah, they are definitely. Right, a few minutes to go, James. 31 players left.
Wow.
And down to our last 4 tables.
Very exciting. And because there's quite a few people get prizes here tonight. I think it's the top 30. Yep, the top 30 get prizes. So there's 32 players left, did you say?
31.
Oh, 31 left. So, oh my goodness, the next one out's going to get nothing. But 30th gets $22.40. So they make a profit.
Definitely, yeah. $10 buy-in.
Yep.
And the average stack is around 15,500 now.
Yes, that will be the case. And that means that the average stack still has quite a bit of play there. Because if you look at the big blinds, average stack has got getting on for 20 big blinds.
Yeah.
So that means this is a nice structure to this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of play left.
People have still got quite a bit of play.
B-Daylight's in a bit of trouble though.
Right, what's he done? What am I going to be critical of? I mean, I haven't seen why it's happened, but what has he let happen?
He's let himself get far too short stacks.
He has, yes.
No.
He's missed the window of, there's no one going to pass to him when he plays.
Because they're going to see how short stacked he is and think it's just
so
desperation.
now he has a different scenario here. He actually now, because he knows no one's going to pass and his tournament life is going to be on the line, he has 2 things to look for now. He actually now probably even has to be prepared. He has to be as selective as he possibly can now to get the best hand he can. or he's got to see an opportunity where there's a few people in a pot, so
And
they're
it's got
giving
value.
him value, and he could play a funny hand like 6-7 suited or whatever, which is a sort of hand that if he got lucky with would beat everyone.
Yes, if he got the straight or something. Or,
So
or
he
the
needs a
flush.
hand which could beat everyone, because his problem is he might not end up heads up, you see. And if he
Yeah.
ends up against multiple people, it's like he's got a hold'em hand against an Omaha hand.
But at least
sort of
if
way.
if he wins
But
a
if-
pot, it's going to be a big
But he
one.
needs to have a hand which can do that.
Yeah.
If he's got like 10-2, this is hard to find a hand which is going to beat
Yeah.
everyone. It might go 2-2-10, that would do it. But if he had a suited connector, that's got more opportunities of beating everyone.
Yeah.
It might make trips, it might make two pair, it might make a straight, it might make a flush. These are the hands which could beat everybody if
Yeah.
they connect.
So lots of opportunities.
So let's
there.
see, let's play the game of, we'll play, Lindsay's got to pick when would your B daylight,
Okay.
and you're going to say when you're putting your chips in.
Well, I just put down 2-3 of clubs before.
Right, so from now on,
I wouldn't there, no.
okay,
I wouldn't there.
and so we'll see how long we've got. 800, because that blind's sneaking round to you, and it's going to cost you 1,200. You can't really let that go, so you really have to find an opportunity to push now for him.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got to decide quick. Get ready. On your marks.
I probably would have done it with that.
I
Actually,
think you-
I would have had to.
I think you would have done.
With the blind coming round, I would have put it down. I think if I had a few more.
No, as it is,
players before,
we're
yeah.
playing.
But no, I think I would have just gone with that.
And what would you do? All in or just call?
All in,
All in, definitely.
because if at least then there's a chance that you might just take the blind, and then it gives you a bit more grace.
Well,
to
there's
wait
no
for-
chance I think he'll take the blinds because you're against 37,000. He's not
Yeah.
going to pass. But you just got to push. You just had to push there, I think. That was the opportunity. Anyway, let's see if you can get lucky now and find a better hand than that. No, he's found worse. So you'd have been better off with your Queen 6, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think so.
And never mind, he's got a suited. He could possibly, if he get a couple of callers, he could possibly win with the flush. But I don't think there are going to be a couple of callers. There's only going to be one opponent. Okay, he's got chances.
See, I would have done that heads up.
No, that is terrible. He's passed there. He's against one opponent.
Yeah.
He's going to be 2 odd cards. He's still going to have a 36% chance to win this pot.
Yeah,
And he's
Heads
turned
up,
it
yeah.
down. That was such a huge error.
he's going to do it now. I think with these twos.
But no, he's let those chips go by.
He has.
Whatever happens, that was a big, big mistake. Very bad.
Well, he's still ahead, but he doesn't know that. That all the cards on the board.
Well, I wish him well, but he did make a big mistake. And he's gone. It's a straight. Oh, no, is it? So he's not a straight. Beg your pardon?
No.
No, he won it.
Yeah, he won it with
I was
his-
looking at his odds here. In that hand there, very interesting. I was just having a look there. He was ace-queen against 6-8 suited.
Yeah.
In that hand, he would win that hand 40% of the time. 40.86% of the time. He turned down that
Yeah.
opportunity with all those chips. Forget about the fact that he's got some chips there. That's
It's
irrelevant.
the fact it was against one player.
And he'd have had the extra
Yeah.
money in the pot,
It would have been good value.
and he let that go. So that one, he'd been better off with that extra money going when he was 6-4 against.
He's got to do it now. Do you think? All in.
Yes, I think he should. He did a raise there. Hang on, there's a raise before him. Okay, I think he should actually. He's got the extra value for the blinds. He can pick up the extra chips. Yep, I agree. He should go. And he's underdog, but he's got chances here. No, unfortunately, he goes.
And that's it.
Okay,
Off he goes.
some interesting stuff we're looking at there.
Yeah, we're going to leave that. We can come back to it a bit later. We're going to go
promise?
to... I promise. Well, we want to see what happens on the final table, don't we? So, $10 sit and go now.
Okay.
Single table tournament. Full table there, blinds 20-40. There's the leaderboard there for you. Kev Steele, chip leader, Buffy Be Good, Larvo, and down we go. But all still pretty even Stevens at the moment.
Yeah, we're on the second level.
Can't possibly be as quick as the one we watched earlier on. 20 minutes. It was fast and furious, wasn't it?
I don't think I've seen one like that,
I
actually.
haven't.
It was just like, it was mega speed.
Really, really good to watch, though. There was
I
wasn't
think
a
they'd
dull
all
moment.
I think they'd all agreed, let's play quickly.
Yeah.
It could have been speed poker. That's what one of the big events is going to be. They're going to have this big poker event, but it's going to be a speed poker event. It's 15 seconds maximum per move, per play.
Goodness me. Is that a good idea? Is it?
I think it's going to be good for television.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is going to be speed poker, 15 seconds is the maximum decision time, and they're going to have 2 dealers.
Right.
So therefore, a live game is going to be dealt very
Right.
fast. Because as soon as you finish dealing, then I deal next.
Yeah.
And you're shuffling, then you deal next. So you're getting far more hands per hour.
Yeah, but you're going to really have to be a quick thinker,
And this will be
aren't you?
televised. And they're going to have computer chips in the cards, so they can keep track of every card.
Yeah.
And
It would be good to watch,
they're
though.
gonna
You're
have
right. It'll be good television.
a robot camera, which is going to pick up any strange tick or movement you've got.
Yeah.
We'll
That'd
see a
be
little
good.
bead of sweat running down your brow when you're deciding what to do in your next 15 seconds.
Goodness, though, if you're normally still playing, you can't think on your feet. You're just it's gonna be crazy.
I know.
Be good to watch, though, because I bet you see some people panic and flap who normally you wouldn't.
That's right, because it will create pressure, won't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But that could be good television.
Trying to keep your composure during that. There's going to be a few sweaty foreheads, I think. But no, it'd be really good to watch.
Okay, this is the second level, as I said. Again, this started with 1,000 chips.
So $10 to buy into this tourney,
Yep,
plus $1 for the house.
that's right.
Greedy things, aren't they? They always want their little cut.
Well, I don't know. It's quite a bit. It's quite an expensive business putting together an internet site and keeping it going. It's got all the software guys having to keep it. Things go wrong and etc. etc.
Yeah.
So, and also,
Yeah, they deserve it.
well, I'm not sure they do, but I mean, it's more to the meets the eye. Also, regarding banking and everything, the internet sites really get hammered by the credit card people. They charge
Yeah.
them more money than any other business.
Right.
So they're paying, and they normally pay the charges for the customers. So
Right.
therefore, they're paying over the top.
Yeah.
So therefore, they've got quite a few costs to cover.
To recoup, yeah.
All funny things like failed deposits. They've got to pay for failed deposits
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It all adds up. So there's probably quite a few more expenses than one would imagine, really.
Yeah. It's just as well it's become so popular then.
Yes, it is. But the thing is, it's very competitive as well. So different sites have to spend money trying to capture some of the market.
Yeah.
So that in itself is
We can tell how competitive it's become by the amount of advertising you see
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah, it is everywhere.
You're driving along and you go, oi.
It's on buses, on the tube
Taxis.
stations, on TV, everywhere, yeah.
And on the tube itself, you've got the little adverts in the tube
Yeah.
there, yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, but there's so much poker. But it's I've said it before, apparently they're forecasting that it's going to keep on growing till 2008.
Oh, right, and then start to slow down.
I don't know
a bit,
what's going to happen then. Maybe it's the end of the world.
Yeah, it's funny that they've put a
Yeah.
limit on of 2008.
I'm glad they didn't sort of say like Wednesday, 3:15,
Yeah.
March
Then you've
the
got to
3rd.
start being worried. Yeah, start planning an underground bunker as they say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, take a poker table down there.
Yeah. So we've had some good emails so far tonight. If you want to ask James a question, it's Am Night tonight, so ask anything at all. Feel free. And of course, we're looking for your 3 most common poker mistakes. I want you to look at your own game, pinpoint the mistakes you make. We're going to help each other out, make a list of those mistakes and try and find solutions so you can nip them in the bud now. If you want to send them through, you can text us 62211 or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
Did you hear about the big tournament which is going to be taking place?
I did. $10 million.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Have they got more than one player yet? Because they only
No,
have
it's
one
still
player,
Phil Ivey
isn't
at the
it?
moment. It's still Phil Ivey. I'm sure they'll get this. They'll get them. But it's 60 million.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Do you think people will sponsor to get the coverage?
I presume they'll sponsor some of the players.
Yeah.
But what an event this will be.
Yeah.
And apparently it's only one prize, I think. It's winner takes all.
That's it.
No deals allowed.
Right.
Now that will be...
God, it's a lot to risk, isn't it? It's crazy.
I mean, it's just hard to imagine what someone's going to look like when they've won $60 million.
Yeah. Or what the other
Do you think
one's
even
gonna
Phil
look like?
Ivey might look happy?
Probably. What
Or he
about
just-
the ones who lose 10
Or is he just
10
going
million?
to... think if Phil Ivey wins it, he'll just still be so cool. Oh, I bet he is. won't he?
No, if you won that much.
Can
surely
you whoop a little
couldn't.
bit?
I would hope so. I would hope so.
He might just go... Yeah. He might just say nothing. Oh, can you
Yeah.
imagine that?
Hopefully not. No, he couldn't possibly. You have to start cutting him open and looking if he's mechanical, if that's the case. You'd have to get a bit excited.
Because Tiger Woods, he gets a bit excited sometimes, doesn't
He
he?
doesn't look very emotional very often, though, does he?
No, he's a bit the
Very
same. You see, they're
rare.
both very similar.
It's always people like that. The best people. Even in horse racing, Tony McCoy never looks emotional.
No, that's
And
right.
he's always champion jockey winning all sorts of things, and he always looks like he's not even bothered. And you think, God, at least smile.
It wasn't the same in Big Brother.
No. No more Chantel digs, James.
No, sorry, I didn't really... It was... Oh my God is what she said, wasn't it?
Oh my God, I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream.
Now, if she won 60 million, you'd know about it.
Oh, yeah, well, she got 25,000 and she was...
Yeah, but can you imagine Chantel winning 60 million?
She wouldn't be able to cope. I don't think she'd burst. I look nothing like her.
Would you like to meet her?
What, so it would be like looking in the mirror at my reflection? Take it or leave it, really, to be honest. There's other people I'd rather meet ahead of her.
Okay, well, we've still got a full complement of players here. And Uncle John has hit the top pair. Gaza Louis has hit the middle pair. And Lavo has got his own pair, which is a baby pair of deuces. And Uncle John has bet 240 into a pot of 240, exactly pot size. So hence he's giving his opponent Gaza 2-1. Why is that? Because there was 480 in the middle, and Gaza had to put 240 of his own chips in. So he was putting that in to try and win 480. So that is 240 into 480 makes 2. So he was getting odds of 2-1. Don't be put off by the odds in poker. The more you play, the more you understand them.
Yeah, pick them up bit by bit.
And initially, you don't have to know. You don't have to. It's not. Don't worry. Especially in tournaments, you don't have to know the odds exactly, because tournaments is different to money games. The odds are very important in money because you're making a decision regarding the odds. Are you getting the correct odds,
Yeah.
etc. In a tournament, you are playing a situation. You are playing an event. You're playing an event where your aim is to win all the chips at the tournament.
Yeah.
And an event where you've only got one life. So therefore, some of your decisions are not as mathematically based
Yeah,
as in the money game.
they're based on the circumstances of particular hands.
You're looking to see how your chip stack is in relation to the average,
Mhm.
in relation to other people at your table.
In relation to the blinds as well.
Exactly, great point. So all that, you might say, okay, I'll overbet this and just take down the blinds here. Just keep myself jogging along,
Yeah.
or whatever. Or I'm in desperate situation, as the other player was, I've got to push all in with Jack 9. Yes, well, you wouldn't be having to do that in a cash game ever.
Yeah.
Because there's never would you have to say, I'm going to push all in with Jack 9.
Just wouldn't
It would
happen.
always be a bad play.
Yeah.
But in the tournament, I praised the guy. I said, that is a brilliant play. He's
Yeah.
found the right time. He'd had an unlucky hand where he'd lost to the straight, and he pushed in with Jack 9 because he knew he had to commit, and he knew he had to get bounced back into the game. So there's a difference. That's a good analogy, really.
Yes,
That's-
things that can
that's
be bad plays in cash
Bad,
games.
that would be a terrible play in a cash game. Before the flop, push all in with Jack 9. You're only going to get called by someone who's beaten you, so it's a
Yeah.
very stupid play. In the tournament, I'm singing his praises
because it was in that particular
because he-
situation.
He'd been whittled down to a low stack, and he challenged the problem straight away.
Yes.
So that's why the tournament does not have to be as mathematical. It doesn't have to be as odds orientated.
Yeah.
And that is also backed up because sometimes you'll find some top tournament players aren't always the best cash players.
Right.
Why? Because they take their tournament style to the cash table.
And it just doesn't work.
Well, if you push all in with Jack 9 before the flop to the
Yeah.
cash game, you're going home without a shirt on your back.
Yes,
So
definitely.
that's an exaggeration. But that flavour of play they'll be using in the cash game,
Yeah.
where it was right when they do it in the tournament but not in the cash game. So that's another interesting concept, really, isn't it?
So would you say you have to have a better mathematical mind to be a good cash player?
I would, yes. I would. Because you very much are aware of the odds. You're playing an odds game. And the way I like to put it is often on the turn there, your opponent, you might think they're on a draw hand. You say he's going to make a flush. You say he's approximately 4-1 against. So I will say, okay, I will offer you 5-2 or 3-1.
Yeah.
So I'm basically the bookmaker giving them the wrong odds.
Yeah.
And I realise, okay, if you hit your flush, that's going to cost me money. But this is a money game. All I want to do is make sure that you call for the wrong price next time, please. Sorry. Lyndsay.
You're cruising.
Make sure you call for the wrong price next time.
Yeah.
So you just want to repeat it. Say, let's play this 100 times. You're 4-1 against, and I give you 3-1.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I make lots of money.
Definitely best that I stick to the tournament.
Right. That's what the cash player mentality
Yeah.
should be. So that's the difference, really.
You have to be a better mathematician.
Well, so you have to know what your odds are.
Yeah.
You'll be able to work out what the chances are of different situations. But still, not to be frightened of.
Yeah.
It will not take you long to grasp it, I promise
And
you.
you pick it up bit by bit.
You do.
The more you play, the more you pick it up. Just get a couple of emails, James. This
Okay,
one
good.
is from Smoothcut.
Smooth cut.
It's about his poker mistakes. He says, my main mistake is not so much getting married to a hand, is refusing to believe I've been outdrawn. For example, if I've got top pair and bet out and get called, the flop same again. If I check and he bets the pot, I don't know where I am and I call believing that he's stealing, which they are sometimes. How do I combat this? I find the best solution is check raise, and if he or she comes over the top, then lay it down. What are your views on that?
Okay. I think that's very good. I think he's already found a good answer to the question. Is when he mentioned about check raise is doing something which is a good thing in poker, is you're asking and we don't play as well as we can.
Always watching. This is from the Iceman, who says, great show as always, guys. Cheers, Iceman. He says, I've been playing online for a few years now and I'm a winning player. But when learning, I did waste a lot of chips and money. And these are the 3 ways in which I did it. So his first one is not raising and asking questions. For example, playing King Jack on the button, not raising the early position caller, then losing to a pair of jacks when they're to my king. Second, chip wasting, being the big stack in a tourney with over 150 big blinds and calling unraised pots pre-flop just in case with rubbish hands, and of course 80 to 90% having to muck it on the flop. So that's chip wasting. And number 3 is not raising with pocket aces in a community pot. Never good, and you lose money because you just don't want to lay those aces. And he says, anyway guys, keep up the good work. And James, that is a great suit.
Whoa.
You get lots of compliments tonight, James.
It's a bisexual suit, I think.
Yeah, the women like it and the guys.
Right. Great points again. I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of these emails we're getting tonight. I think these are very educational and I think they're excellent. Not raising and asking questions. Massive error in this game. All the time, this game is about knowing where you are in the hand. And you can't know where you are unless you ask a question. And how do we ask questions in poker? We ask a question by raising. You raise, the 5-2 offsuit isn't going to be there. So already we can say, there's only a certain window of hands from these type of players who are going to be there. So again, we pick our characteristics of the player, we work out how they react to raises. So we should know the different individuals. Lyndsay, well, she wouldn't call a raise unless she had this sort of hand. So we'll say, well, I raised, so I've already got in a bracket of hands. This is very useful. We've got more information. So that's a very point there. You've not been raising, and you definitely should. You should be raising to ask questions. Chip wasting, when you've got a big stack in a tournament, I think he said.
Yep.
And he was just calling, basically.
Calling unraised pots, just in case, even when his hand's not very good, and then having to put it down.
Yes, this is what I call frittering chips away. And it's very, very bad, because in a way, mentally, you feel horrible after you've wasted chips. It's like you've done nothing with them. So far better, when you've got a big stack in a tournament, just let me remind you, when you've got a big stack, suppose you're lucky enough to have a big stack like I got in front of me, then your chips are actually worth less, because the reason is, if you got a few more chips, you wouldn't even notice you got them. If you lost a few chips, you wouldn't notice you'd lost them, because there's so many chips. So your chips actually individually aren't worth so much. If someone had a small stack of chips, they know the name of every chip.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got 7 of them, look at them. And so, look, she
Bill,
knows them all.
Bob,
If I took 2 of those, she'd say, where have they gone? She'd know straight away. Those chips are worth more money. They're more valuable. So rather than just frittering these calling, you can actually be an aggressor here. Pick more moments to be an aggressor. Be popping in raises. They don't always have to be big raises. You could pop in small raises with a big stack because they're frightened of what the next bet's going to be. That would be a far better policy. Play slightly less hands, but when you play them, pop in small raises and become a monster at the table, always asking questions, and you'll be surprised how many times people just crumble and let you have the blinds, yet time and time again. And that will be a far better proposition than just chip frittering.
Well, we're going to put the sit and go back up, James,
Yeah.
and then we look at the last point
Yes,
when
fine.
we put this up. So let's get back. It's $10 sit and go. Put that back up for you. The last one, maybe something we can look out for in the sit and go. Not raising with pocket aces in a community pot.
Yes, pocket. Yes, you definitely have to raise with pocket aces. The only excuse can be if you're at a lively table and you're in early position with pocket aces, you could just limp in with them, hoping to go for the re-raise, i.e. you want someone else at this lively table to pop in a raise, then you come back over the top of them. You're either going to get everyone to pass or you're going to end up heads up in a perfect situation. Why perfect? Because you'll be against the one opponent and there'll be a lot of money in the pot. And when you've got a lot of pair of aces, you want to play for more money.
You want to make them pay.
When you've got the best hand in the whole of poker, you want to have the stakes as big as you can get them.
Of course you do,
against one opponent. Right, if you try that method of just limping in early position and all of a sudden, nightmare upon nightmare, no one raises, everyone limps in, don't worry, you've still got the best hand, however many opponents you've got, but now be prepared to put it down, because basically you're now playing a drawing hand.
Yeah.
And if you've got a pair of aces and the flop comes over 3, 4, 5, all spades, chuck it out the window. It's worthless, because you don't know where you are. So you now have to hit, basically, to be able to play against all these players. But if you, that's it. That's a risk you've taken. Say, okay, I tried to manoeuvre the re-raise. It didn't work. It doesn't matter. It didn't work this time. I hope to hit my ace. I might win a monster pot against all these people anyway. They won't believe I had aces. There's a plus point.
Yeah.
But if it fails,
You have to get
chuck
rid
it
of
away.
yeah.
And just be prepared to chuck it away. It doesn't matter. No one had aces, chuck them away. It didn't work. And if you play that way, that'll be fine. But generally, with aces, you do want to raise. And if you're latest position, always raise with them, because you want to thin the field and you want to get more money in the pot. Because when you've got the best hand in poker, that's when you want to play.
Yes, but you've got to be prepared to put those good hands down.
Oh, yes. And if you play the limping one, you've got to be
Yes.
prepared to put them down, yeah.
So we lost 2 now, James, and I'll sit and go. The blind's 160, 320.
Look at this bet from Hoofy. Wowee. This is mega aggressive from Hoofy, isn't it? He's going to take the money as well. No one's going to call this. No, I didn't think he'd call it.
So big. But thanks for those points, Iceman. I'm glad you're winning now.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because he's aware of the mistakes he was making.
What do you think of the points we've had so far?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Are they helping you, Lyndsay?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Especially the fact that we're looking at how to stop doing those things. That's the main thing. But lots of similar ones, aren't there? Lots of Like the continuity bets is a very common one, the small blind. But that's the good point by Iceman, and the fact that he was wasting chips, but now he's a winning player. He's obviously done something about it.
He stopped the leak.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to tell us your most common mistakes, we'd love to hear them. You can send them through to us. 62211 is our text number, or you can pop them on an email, which is poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
There we go. Right, Uncle John's made it 640. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. He's on the big blind 640. This game is rattling along there, isn't it? 320, 640. The blinds are massive. Still 5 players left. Buffy be good. He's all in ski. 10 queen. Oh, he's unlucky. There's another 10 queen out there. Kills his cards, and Hoofy's got the ace jack. He's hit the jack. They've hit a 10, but I doubt there's another card for them. There's not.
Nah.
And Hoofy has wiped out 2 in one go, and we're down to the last 3. We're all in the... There it is. Hoofy's got a pair of jacks with a... Oh, pair of jacks, pair of 2s with an ace. 2 pairs. Two jacks, 2 2s with an ace. And we're down to the money makers.
Yeah, one foul swoop took out 2.
The Poker Night Live money makers. We had Chris Moneymaker win the World Series. We've got the Poker Night Live money makers. They're all of the money in the top 3.
Yeah, top 3 all get paid.
50%, 30%, 20%.
Lose another one, Gaza Louis.
They get paid $40, $24, and $16. And look at this. This is rattling along again now. Oh, and I think he's got to go in here. He's got to push. Well, that's the same as going all in, isn't it? Because it's all going to go in now. It does do, but a queen for Hoofy.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a king. Only a king can save him. Oh, and he's overkill. Trip queens.
Trips, and Hoofy takes it.
Well done, Hoofy. Some aggressive play there before. I still remember that very big bet you made with a pair of 5s. You took control of the table there and just marched on to victory.
Yeah, fast and furious, these tourneys tonight,
Very
aren't
fast
they?
and furious, yeah.
Unbelievable.
I like it.
Quick email. We got one off Muffin who said, just wondering, are your poker games live? If they are, wouldn't the people who are playing be watching and they can see everyone's cards? And he says he's just wondering, he's a poker newbie, although I just came from sit and go and won £15, but I'm happy with that.
Yes, they are live, but as Lyndsay said earlier, they're delayed. They're delayed by 5 to 10 minutes. So that means that when they're watching it, they're watching what happened prior to what they're playing at the moment.
Yeah, but there you go, short delay. Right, cash game now, 50 cent $1, James.
Okay, it was good. Let's see how much money's at that table now.
Yeah, so they are people who are playing online, and it's all real stakes, but of course we can't show them perfectly live.
No. Lyndsay, look at this for a small game. Johan Harren, 340.
Yeah.
He's quite good looking, isn't he?
Well, the max is, yeah. He's getting more good looking by the minute.
Isn't he? I thought he was, yeah.
Right, so $100 is the maximum you can sit down with. He's making a lot of money tonight. It just goes to show there's a lot of money to be made
On
at
the small
these
game.
smaller
That's right.
games, yeah.
Crazy Gum, $184. Bambi, $162. This is all real money. And we've got Buffy Be Good, who we've just seen in the sit and go as well. They're multi-tabling PNLers.
Yes.
And let's see, we'll monitor Johan there to see how he's getting all this money.
Ibrid likes a flake in his ice cream, look. He's got his 99.
Yes.
We're rattling through these sit and goes as well tonight.
Those sit and
James.
goes. They're mega fast tonight. I like it. It's really
It
good.
is, it's good to watch, isn't it?
Right, is he going to pop a raise in? No, he just called there, Johan. But he's ended up getting position because the button's passed. So by that I mean on the next round, if there's no raise now, the next round, Johan will be last to speak.
Yeah.
And the small blind's passed. Bambi, favourite to miss the flop, has missed it. Johan has missed it. He could have bet there if he wanted to. Now he's actually gone behind, and he just played it passively. And, okay, he didn't risk any more. He could have possibly bet on the flop.
Yeah.
That would have been the advantage of having position. Right, pair of nines in the small blind. That's quite a nice hand of the small blind. But if he's going to play it, he should play it with a raise, as I said before. Oh, there's a raise before him. Right.
That changes things now.
It does. He could actually re-raise now, because the guy in the button could be making a play with not such a big hand, and he's done it. That's a nice bet. Very good from Bambi. He asked the question there, because if you just call with a pair of nines, you're likely to see loads of overcards and not like the flop.
I still don't know where you are.
But now he's asked the question beforehand.
How good is your hand?
This is a wonderful play from Bambi.
He wants to know how good Irid's hand is, and he's just...
Yeah, I'm a bit biased because I did recommend it, that's why. Yeah. But no, it was, no, it was a great play. Yeah. I was delighted to see you did that.
I didn't expect him to do it.
That's right, that was super.
Yeah.
He asked the question there and then, and that answers some of our problems there.
Yeah.
He didn't want to not know where he was.
Yeah.
He wanted to know. You raise your late position. You're just trying to pinch my blind. Yeah. Take that. He surrendered.
Because you have to be wary of that people are just raising because they're in late position. Yeah. They are just trying to
But look what happened as well. We know Bambi was winning. He wasn't a big favourite, was he?
No.
He had a pair of nines. The other guy had two overcards, Queen Jack. If he saw the cards, if he sneaked, if he could look around the corner and see he had a pair of nines, he'd say, I'll call that, and if I hit my Queen of Jack, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
So he'd play, but he got him to pass.
Yes, because the bet was big enough.
Yes, so therefore, by taking that money down, that was the best result for him.
Yeah.
Although he was favourite, that was the best result for him for two reasons. One, it could be played out and he could get beaten because his opponent could hit a queen or jack or hit a straight.
Yeah.
Two, by playing it out, Bambi would have been out of position, first to speak. Awkward.
And any overcards that comes down, he's got no idea where he is.
He'd have only been happy if he'd seen a 9.
Yes.
Or possibly a very low flop. But that was, so it was a great play. Very, very good play. For 50-cent $1 game, very impressive. Well, we're seeing some good stuff tonight, Lyndsay.
We are, aren't we?
Can you, before we go away again, can you ask them to send some more in? Because I've really enjoyed these tonight.
Yes,
Lyndsay.
we are. We've been getting emails through to the show of people telling us their top 3 mistakes. We're asking people, because it's AM night and we're all making mistakes when we first start playing the game, to look at your own game and pick out the 3 things which you think you're doing wrong in your game and why it's hampering your game. And James is giving us tips and pointers to try and stop us doing them in the future.
And if you're a very good player and you've only got 2 mistakes, well, you just put the 2 down.
Yeah, or even 1, it's all right, you know. We've had some brilliant emails.
I only make half a mistake. But here it is.
Yes. So what are the common mistakes you make? Get them through to us, we'll read them out and try and put them right. 62211 is the text number, or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Some great ones so far from Icebreaker and Liz and Smooth Cut, the Iceman. So if you want yours read out, get them through to us here at the studio.
Okay. Of those hands, oh, right, there's not many hands there, are there? I was going to give you a little Lyndsay question, but no, we'll leave it a minute. Right, he's on the button again. Oh, he's put the raise in this time, Harren. There we go. Queen 8, but he's on the button. He's raised it up, and he won the blinds. Very nice. Okay, pair of 8 under the gun. I'm happy with a call just there, but now you've got to be aware that you are basically playing it as a drawing hand.
Yes.
Right, Johan's coming again. He likes position. See, he's played with 2 funny cards in position. Because he look, he's hit his trip 8s.
Now.
But is he going to have any opposition? He's right to check. Oh, he's made a full house now.
Yeah.
3 8s, 2 kings. He's dying for someone to have a king. Not ace king or ace 8, or king 8, obviously, but he wishes they had a king. But unfortunately, no one's got anything. Except Johan's got the flush draw.
Now, if Johan hits a club on the
Yes.
on the river, it could be a big payday
Is
for
Beardy
Beardy.
going to check again? No, he puts in 3. He charges for the draw, but they put it down. They didn't have much of a hand.
Yeah.
And Johan's too good of a player. He doesn't want to be making a flush draw when he's a paired board.
Yeah.
Because 1, he could be drawing to a baby flush. 2, he could be drawing dead.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yes. I
Drawing
think.
dead. That means when there's already a hand out there which is better than the one you're drawing to make.
Yes, and even
that
if
is
you hit
horrible.
it, doesn't matter.
You're getting your massive odds against it. Just hit this hand, which isn't going to be any good for you anyway.
Yeah.
The problem is when people hit a draw hand, they're so elated, so
They forget that
excited.
there could be something
Oh, look
better.
exactly.
Yeah.
They forget the context of where they are.
So if Johan has got the flush on the river there,
They just sort of go, oh my God. And
brilliant.
that's it.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
And Beardy's sitting there thinking, oh, I've got a full house.
Okay, so Irid, no one's got a heart. If they had a heart, they'd have a flush. But Irid, of course, has got a pair of queens. Bambi's... Ooh, and Bambi's taking it down. And why? Why do you think he got away with it? Why did Irid pass?
Because of his position.
What was Irid worried about? Because he worried about the flush. There were 4 hearts on there. And he bet after seeing the 4th heart go there and said, oh, you must have a flush.
Yes.
So
Made him put it down.
he had read that he didn't think his opponent had the flush. He thought, I can represent. I have got a pair which might be winning, but he had doubts about it. But certainly the scariness of the flush might make you pass.
That was it, yeah. Right, email from Andy. He says, hi, guy and girl. I think my 3 mistakes are number 1, I always seem to be drawn to going for a flush, even when I know in my heart I'm not getting the odds. 2, raising the pot, then getting re-raised. 9 out of 10 times I called just to see the flop. Not all in though. And 3, quite often playing higher than my bankroll allows, sort of like at the start of rounders, I'm taking a shot and going for Vegas.
This is the scariest email so far. What's his name?
It's Andy.
Andy, thanks a lot for contacting us. You've got me nervous now.
Yeah.
This is a scary, scary email. I'll tell you why. Okay, drawing to a flush when you're not getting the odds. Ouch. You want to be the bookmaker giving the wrong odds. You don't want to be the punter. In fact, don't be playing drawing hands too much in this game. Basically, you want to be the aggressor, the one raising, the one betting. Let the person be drawing to make hands against you. Don't just be the one feebly calling, trying to hit something. That's passive play. I don't like it. And when you know that you call it and you're getting the wrong odds, that's scary. Don't do it.
Yeah. And you know you're doing it.
Next one.
Raising the pot, then getting re-raised 9 out of 10 times. I called just to see the flop.
Please start to respect re-raises. Start analysing how many times the re-raiser has got the goods. And you'll be amazed because they have the goods far, far more often than not. The number of re-raise bluffs are very, very few. Now listen, I'm not being rude, but I bet Lyndsay has never done a re-raise bluff yet.
No.
Exactly.
No,
Well,
definitely
most
not.
people haven't. So respect re-raises and start putting them down. Last one.
Playing not higher than his bankroll allows.
Big, big boo-boo. If you had you can do a trial. If you had a 10% advantage, play 5,000 hands, you could still lose even with advantage. Don't play above your bankroll. There's too many fluctuations. Hope those helped.
Got to be able to afford it. But thanks for your email, Andy. We'll get some more after the break. Send them through to 62211 is the text number. We'll read some more of those out when we come back in a few minutes. See you then. Welcome back to Poker Night Live. It's Lyndsay and James Browning here with you till 2. Having a good night tonight. Some great
Brilliant.
poker so far.
Whizzing sit and goes. 2 of them.
Yeah.
Scintillating.
First one, 20 minutes it was over with. And also amateur night tonight, so we're talking about mistakes that you make. We all make them. We're getting people to send in their top 3. Look at your game and pick out the 3 things which you're doing wrong. So we've got some really good emails and stuff. If you'd like to tell us yours, have a look at your game and tell us what your mistakes are, then please do send them through to us. We'd love to hear from you. There's the text number on your screen. It's 62211. Or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Had a great one off Flirty Liz earlier on with her mistakes, and also very complimentary about James Brown.
Oh, she was as well, but I'll tell you what, there's been some mistakes. We've had another confession.
Right.
We've had a confession from the boys in the back room. They've gone and lost their email address.
Wow!
They have.
What are they doing? I'm trying to fix you up here,
Never mind
James.
these mistakes. I've seen all these continuity bets, poker, all rubbish. Missing out in the loser email address.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm distraught.
Yes, you're going to have to put a smile back on James's face, Liz, and send us another email because I think he's very flattered by your affections.
I've got a big problem. I can't get in touch with Flirty Liz because those naughty backroom boys
And would you like her to
have
send...
gone and deleted it.
Would you like her to send you a picture?
Don't tell Betty. But I'd quite like to have a little peek.
Well, she did say she had amazing assets.
It's good to play with a big pair.
Oh, James.
Sorry.
Okay, come on, Lizzie, you've got to help me out here. He's getting there. He's getting twitchy.
Yes.
Another lady's
Water.
been in touch, James. Another lady from Ireland, Shirley. She doesn't fancy, I don't think, but she says, hi, Lyndsay and James. Great show as usual. I'm still only playing for play money, as I'm sure many of your viewers are too. I got fed up with all the lunatic players. I decided to try sit and goes on the same site. 5 tables, 45 players, and after the first hand, I found the players are mostly sensible and the game is very enjoyable. I'm able to practice the tips from Poker Night Live and I've won a few, taken second and also third. My problem is having the discipline early on when I might be 22nd out of 36 and haven't had a decent hand. If I wait, generally a hand will turn up and I shoot up the board. I've been playing for about 8 months. I've got a lot to learn, but I enjoy poker immensely.
That's very good. I mean, I think you're taking it cautiously. You're listening. You're learning. That's fine. We don't want people to get into trouble playing. That's for sure. That's the last thing I ever want to see happen. I want people just to enjoy the game. It should be entertainment. And listen, if you're enjoying it playing for play money, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, listen, there's some micro stakes you can go into play. There's some very small stake sit and goes you can play. You know, venture in there, and I'm sure you'll quite enjoy it. But just say, listen, I expect to lose to start with, and just say that is my entertainment, and that's cheap entertainment. You know, if you go and pay for popcorn at the cinema, they rip your arms off for it, don't you? You'd have a lot more fun probably entering a sit and go for the same money.
But good email, Shirley. Thanks for getting
thanks a lot, Shirley.
in touch.
Keep improving.
Yeah. This is from Fraser, similar sort of topic. He says, can you give me some advice? I've been playing free rolls for 2 months and had a few top 10 finishes. I feel that I play really well, but when I play in small cash games with my winnings, I seem to lose it very quickly. I've never played with my own money, only free roll winnings, as my wife would divorce me. I'm addicted to playing poker, but I want to play at a better level. I feel sometimes that there are too many people playing free rolls to improve my bank balance. What do you reckon I should do?
I think what's probably happening is you win a little bit of money in the free roll. I think, where is he getting placed, Lindsay? About 10th or something?
Yeah, he's
The problem is
finishes.
you're now sitting down in a cash game with probably not very much money. So make sure you're sitting down with enough big blinds. It might be that you're just playing understacked for that size game you're in which case you're not going to be able to withstand the fluctuations very much. Basically, make sure you probably go to the absolute smallest game so at least you have quite a lot of play. Because however good a player you are, you will have fluctuations. Like in life, poker is all bell curves like this. And if we're a winning player, it's bell curves which eventually ends up going from here to here. If we're a level player, it goes bell curves from here to here. But it is bell curves however good or bad we are. So you need... That means you can go all the way down, but then come up here and down. You need to have enough bankroll to be able to withstand if you hit one of those
Yeah,
downturns.
so maybe drop down the limits
Yeah,
a bit.
so make sure you've got enough play. I think that's a bit of advice I would give you for that.
Yeah, but carry on doing what you're doing, because I think Fraser's most important mistake could be upsetting the wife, so you're doing the right thing, and when you're playing with, you're
I think
winning.
That's good advice.
Yes, definitely. All right, keep them coming through. You want to know your top 3 mistakes. Text 62211 or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. But James, we've got the final table of our
brilliant.
multi-table tournament.
Brilliant. There's normally a lot of play in this as well. It's excellent. Here we go.
Last table. So we're down to 8 players from 320.
Fantastic.
Started off with 40 tables. All the players started with 1,500 chips. 30 places were paid.
In fact, the 11th to 20th have just gone, and they've just received $28.80.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell us what's the next? We're down to 8 players. In fact, other people have been playing. What did 10th get, Lyndsay?
10th got $40.
And 9th?
56.
Right, that's fine. And so what's 8th going to get? The next one out?
Next one out will walk with $80.
$80. Okay, get something. That's 8 times their starting stake. And
7th, it goes up a bit more, 112 for
Right.
7th place. Then we go to 144, 6th place. 5th place gets 192. 4th place, 256. 3rd, 368.
and now the business end.
The business, yeah, $560 for the 2nd place. And first top prize, $880.
Wonderful. And look, there's our pop band G3
Yes, still going
with
strong.
King Kong, and have just marched into 3rd place. We've got Nuff Said. Nuff Said.
What, Pat?
Yeah, Nuff Said. Sounds like from EastEnders. I
Yeah,
think.
Bobby.
Simply Good are the league leaders. G3 in 3rd place. Followed by Stealth, Latinator.
So Lee's all in now. Oh, he's hit his 9.
Wowee.
4.
He hit it both 9s.
Yeah.
He's got 4 9s.
Look at that though for Bobby, because he hit 2 pair.
Yes. Wowee, 4 9s. Wonderful.
Poor old
Right.
Bobby's.
Blinds, big blinds 3,000, 1,500, the small blinds 1,500. G3's got quite a few stacks. Just called with King Jack, early position.
Bobby's going to have to put his chips in here. He's only got a small blind left.
And I think they're going to want to just check it down to try and get rid of Bobby. Yep. And I think G3 might check it again.
Bobby needs a
We'll
9.
Oh no, he hasn't. He's bet it. He thinks it's good enough to knock out Bobby. And it is.
There
So,
we lose Bobby.
we've lost a player.
$80 though for Bobby.
Not bad, Bobby. Okay, Nuff Said's got Ace Jack on the button. We'll see what he does there. How much would you bet?
On the button.
Big blinds
9,000,
3,000. 9,000.
probably, yeah, I
Okay,
would.
Lyndsay's putting in 9,000. I think that's quite a nice bet. Funny enough, when you've got a big stack, I was going to say, when you've got a big stack, you can put in 6,000. You can put
Yeah.
in a flat raise because people are worried about the follow-up bet because you've got such a big stack.
Yeah, what?
So at this stage, because the blinds are quite big, you can lower the level of the raise because you can say raise because they know how much more money is behind you.
Yeah.
That way you can also get away from hands or you can follow up. So you don't have to stick rigidly to the 3 and 4 times a big
Yeah,
blind.
people show respect to your chip stack and know
Yes.
that there's a lot more that you can put in.
So therefore you can get away with putting in a cheaper raise.
Yeah.
As long as you're saying I'm raising, that's enough.
Yeah, that's a good point to remember actually. Doesn't always have to be that standard.
Why that's good is because if you just get caught on one of them and have to put it down, it's not going to put you off from raising. If you've been putting too much in the middle and you get caught a couple of times, you soon go off it. You say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't like this anymore." But if you kept it to a smaller level, you could perhaps have to put one down, try it again. Oh, carry on and win a decent pot. Oh, I made a profit over the three
Over the
ventures.
three, yeah, you're not wasting chips unnecessarily.
So therefore, if you put more in each time, you might not make a profit over the three ventures,
yes,
because you won't win enough.
Because if you only win one of them, the other two you've lost
too much on them. So therefore, if you can get away with it in these latter stages, it's because the blinds are so big. That's why.
Yes.
It's sort of a little sort of idiosyncrasy of the game that it suddenly changes. But that's what's wonderful about poker, because it's forever changing.
Yes.
Because conditions, circumstances create these changes.
Every single hand is different.
That's right. Because you've got less chips than you had, he's got more chips than he had, etc., etc. It's not like a roulette wheel. The spin of the roulette wheel is basically the same every time, because circumstances don't change. It doesn't affect the spin of a wheel. But this is not like a spin of a wheel. It is a lively, moving game.
And you have to adapt with it.
Exactly right.
Right.
Wow, he's got two pairs, and he whacks it in there. And he's marched on, he's into six figures. 126,000.
Yeah. Lee put his nines down there. Had to with that ace on the board in that bet, didn't he?
And he's calling quite a bit G3. There's a raise there from pair of eights. Wants to know where he is. Good. Takes it down. Because he's on the button there. So therefore, the pair of eights, middle pair on the button, there's been no raise prior to that. Yes, ask the question.
Yeah.
Ace 4, I'd chuck that. Under the gun, difficult hand to play. I think we should see something from the Ace King, however. How much is he going to make it? He's made it 12. He's gone. He has less chips himself, so he's quite actually happy, probably to
take those blinds,
to take it down, or just to be against one opponent where his high cards might even end up winning it.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't connect, because he has a few less chips. He doesn't want to be getting into a cat and mouse situation.
So he had to make the raise big enough.
That's why he's made it bigger. Yeah.
To either make everyone put it down or have it heads up.
Yeah. He definitely wanted to thin the field. He didn't want to play poker. He didn't have enough chips to feel he wanted to start playing cat and mouse poker. G3 has got so many chips, he feels he can just get himself into pots and maybe manoeuvre people around a bit. And he's found a hand like this here. He's actually got two pair, but of course, enough said, doesn't actually have very much. Is that Leal? No. On the bottom, Ace Queen?
Lee.
Lee. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. I'm looking at 9, yeah. Sorry, Lee, yeah, beg your pardon.
1968.
Lee, 1968.
So he's just put in the 2 times the big blind raise, standard raise.
So is it his birth date, do you think?
Probably, yeah. Don't ask me to work out how old that makes him.
33.
Oh well, there you go.
And it's a raise, and we've had that flat raise again.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure he had the right number of chips. Oh, look at this. It's flush draw against flush draw. It's going to be difficult to hit this heart, isn't it? We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hearts are out there already. So there's only 6 left. Pair of 9s is winning.
Yeah, and Lee drawn to the better flush.
And raises. Well, this could get expensive for him. He's going to be all his chips in here, I think, Lee. Because he's not going to be able to put it down, because he's only got 18,000 left. Or is he going to take it? He'd love to be against this. Flush draw against flush draw. Wow! This is a great situation for him here. He's got the big cards. Flush against flush. He's made the flush. It's all over for him. Fantastic. That was the dream result.
Yes, definitely. Sitting there with the ace.
I mean, obviously he could still lose because he didn't have a pair. His opponent could hit a 6 or a 7, but if the heart came, it was all over. Wonderful.
Dream situation for Lee there.
And if he hit nothing, he'd have still won as well. If his opponent hit nothing, he'd have still won as well.
With the ace high.
With the ace high. Yep, that was the dream one. And he's well back in the game now, 85,000.
Yeah. Right up there with G3. And Simply Good as well. So G3's not going to be able to bully as much.
No. Does that look like sort of like an animal? With the sort of like, you've got the 2 eyes.
Where am I looking?
The whole table.
Right.
I'm looking at it so like, you could have like 2 eyes and so like a nose.
And the bit at the top with all the details in is like the monobrow.
All right. Okay, that's the same hand there again.
Which is the dream situation for Lee.
And we just just get it to continue playing. We had it, we got it frozen in space there. We made it dizzy.
Good to see this again, though. This is where Lee pulls himself
That's
right back into the
We'll
tournament.
see what the betting was. He'd done the mini raise against the pair of 9s who initially put in there. The pair of 9s decided he didn't like it anymore. He was frightened of the 2 overcards, the jack and the 10. The 6-7 thought, well, I've got him covered in chips. He's probably not on a flush draw because he's betting.
Yeah.
He didn't think he was on the flush draw. He's raised, of course. Lee's got committed all in. Ping, there's the Queen of Hearts. It's all over. And Lee got the money back to 85,000. So that was an interesting hand, wasn't it?
It was. G3 must have thought
And
he'd
here's
taken it when the Queen came.
another interesting hand. We've got a pair of queens, has made it 9,000. Early position. I quite like that, though, because the queens doesn't like to play against aces and kings coming on the flop, so wants to ask a good question. The queen probably is quite pleased to see, likes the flop, worried a little bit about spades, but then is soothed by the fact that
he's got
the queen of spades and decides, there you go, I'm not going to guess. I'm whacking it in. And the 10s of call, but it's a flush. It's a flush for Latinator.
Yeah. And takes another big pot.
That's right.
So we've got 4 players around the same size chip stack now. Enough said, down to 27,000.
Wow, that's another big hand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, that's right, big blind 4,000. So, enough said. What's the point about enough said now?
He's going to have to start to make a move.
Because 7 times the big blind is 28,000.
Yeah.
That's our little... He's on the cusp.
Point,
He's on the cusp of his action, isn't he? So we want to see action from him now.
So we're looking for a hand very soon.
Because if we think about it, stealth and Huck, they won't want to put in 27,000, will they, with a dodgy hand? Yes. And it's possibly the 81,000 isn't that keen to put 27,000 in. It's enough just to hurt. So therefore, enough said, we'll have a chance to get people to pass.
That's why he needs to do it now before his stack gets too low, because it will hurt. Whereas if he carries on and lets it get too low, then it's going to hurt, isn't it?
Yes.
So he has to do it where, you know, he's got around 27,000.
We want him to have that little area where you can get people to pass. And that's 27,000, that is it, on the cusp of it. As I said, if we look at those other stacks...
They're going to be reluctant to lose 27,000.
I just don't want to give that away. If I lose that, I'm the one struggling, etc., etc. I'll let someone else fight you. I'll let someone else fight you. Luckily enough, if everyone says I'll let someone else fight you, no one fights you. And of course, he wants to still have that chance that everyone might just pass.
Yeah.
Because the blinds are quite meaningful. If he could win the blinds, even, that's 6,000.
chips.
He's got 27,000. Well, that's a nice percentage, isn't it, of 27,000? Increases his stack to 33,000.
Yeah.
That's a nice increase there, way over 10% increase of his stack. So that's important.
I've got a couple of emails, James.
Okay,
for
have
you.
a look.
This one is from Graham. And Graham says, congratulations on a super show. I followed you for a few weeks and started playing for fun online. I've noticed the different ways players play in different tables. When playing for fun, there are loads of heavy bets, and I take this to be because they are generally, like me, just inexperienced. However, when I dipped my toe into a real mini-game, it was immediately obvious that the players were playing less aggressively. They folded to raises and bet more conservatively. That is to be expected, I suppose, but a thought occurred to me as I watched these more experienced players. Are stronger players not just following the current theories of poker, playing most predictably rather than just playing spontaneously and each hand on its merit? I've heard Casper and others say that the long odds are what matters, but each hand is very unique. In this way, they are being predictable and are easier to play than inexperienced players who have yet to learn to conform to the present dogma. Have I missed something? Surely great players don't follow the rules all the time, and that's from Graham.
I'll tell you what, emails tonight, I'm giving them high marks.
Good stuff.
We've had some absolutely super emails tonight, really well written and a lot of thought put into them. Great email there, Graham, very, very good. Right, you're quite correct. I am not recommending anyone to play by rote. You have to change your game. You have to alter your style of play all the time. When I say, for example, you should raise pre-flop, say, with a pair of aces, I do not mean that you do this 100% of the time. Because if you always raised with aces, that would mean when you were in a pot and you hadn't raised, it means you haven't got aces because you would have raised with them. So indirectly you'd be giving information away. So therefore, when I say you should raise with aces, you should raise possibly 80% of the time. And you could do this randomly. In fact, that is good game theory, to do things randomly, because then no one can read it. So how could you do it randomly? Okay, let's say I said 80% of the time. That would mean 4 times out of 5 I want you to raise with aces. Well, you could therefore use your watch and say, according to where the second hand is, I'll divide my watch into 5 parts, and whichever part it's on, I'll look at it, and if it's in that part, I'll raise, and if it's in that one section there, that's the time I won't raise with it. No one is going to be able to read what you're doing, because you're doing it randomly. Right, so this, generally, all our plays should be varied. As I said earlier, don't always do a continuity bet, because you're an open book. Don't always do anything. We must vary. As I said earlier, sometimes hit the flop and don't even follow up with a bet. So you show people that you're capable of checking with a good hand. Because if you never check with a good hand, they again know where you are. They can get too much information.
Yeah.
So you're very correct. Good plays should not be predictable. But the majority of the time, they're doing the correct plays. But they are capable of varying their play. So a very, very good point from you, Graham. But that's how I think it should be.
Good email, Graham. Thank you for that. We're going to go back to our multi-table tournament, James.
Okay.
And our final table.
I'll tell you what, Lyndsay, I'm going on about it, but these emails tonight,
Fantastic
I think have
stuff,
been,
aren't they?
do you know, it's really good quality, haven't they?
Yeah, and
Superb.
helpful, I think.
Can we have some more?
Yes, send them through.
Don't stop.
You can ask any questions.
Make
at
this
all.
the quality email night.
But so far, so far they've been fantastic. Also, people have been emailing in with their top 3 poker mistakes. Yeah. We all make mistakes, especially when we're new players, and we're trying to pinpoint those mistakes and stop doing them before they become really bad habits. So we're helping each other out. If you want to tell us your top 3 mistakes, or indeed you just want to ask James a poker question of any variety, then text us 62211 or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
Actually, we love everything. If you've got any poker trivia, poker jokes, anything, a little story, we love them all. We just like to be chatting to you. I'll tell you what, I was on the cruise.
Yeah.
It was one of the best parts of the cruise was actually so many people came up and said, "Hi, James." And I go, "I don't really know him." Hi. He said, "Oh, I'll watch Poker Night Live." I go,
really?
"Oh, brilliant." And it was so nice to meet
The viewers,
so many people who are out there. And I really felt like, and they were all great.
Yeah.
And it was just felt like, oh God, I know who's out there. I know we're all talking together. And it was such a
Yes.
good feeling. And I was fortunate enough to get to the final of a table there.
Yeah.
Out of 342 players, I came third. But there's actually quite a lot of the guys who watched Poker Night Live, and they were actually cheering me on, which was really, really nice. So it was a good feeling. But it is a great community, and we just love to interact.
Yes.
So
That's what it's all about.
Keep on sending in the emails and texts.
Jay Chuck knocked out enough said there, so we're down to 2, 4, 6 players left.
Was that your cheerleader maths?
You just count up, yeah.
2, 4, 6.
I'm terrible, honestly, really am.
Well, you're a frustrated cheerleader. 2, 4, 6.
I used to be a gymnast, so I kind of... No, I don't really want to be a cheerleader, but I used to do gymnastics.
All right.
So kind of similar, I suppose, only without the chanting. Similar sort of moves. So the next player out is going to get $144.
And there we have our aces. He's not mucked around, he's
No.
re-raised. And here's a decision for Chuck. He's got 62 left. I think he might be able to put this down. Got quite a lot of play left. Or he hasn't. Well, I don't know what he thinks he's up against. And now he's had to put it down there. Well, Latinator put in a price there which was a bit tempting for me. Tempted him. Be suspicious of these small re-raises. Because what do they mean? It normally means a person...
Trying to trap you.
Yeah, he wants paying. He normally is a sign of strength.
Look at that, Latinator way up to chip leader now.
142,000. And that's affected the rest of the game here, hasn't it? Because he's got a good chunk of the chips. And we've got 2 stragglers, Stealth and Chuck. But Stealth now is just Chuck. And 7 4s are 28. So Chuck now is near the edge here. He's got less than 10 big blinds.
See, you're doing maths how I like it now. You're showing your workings out. All in for Stealth with his queens.
So what was your speciality in gymnastics?
Vault.
Oh, really?
So like the vault, yes. Box vault. Oh, a long time ago. I don't think I could get into splits anymore.
You didn't do the sort of rings or anything, or?
No, just vault and the floor work.
Right.
No, I never had enough of my body strength to do the rings or
Oh,
anything
they-
like
oh, they
that.
are, they're
Yeah,
so
you've
difficult.
got to have really strong arms.
I can remember vaulting the box a few times there. Sounds rude, really, but...
I never thought of it like that.
Okay, 6 players. And we've got to look, I think, here we go. Huck, this is your time. I know it doesn't look good because we can see the ace too. If he doesn't do anything, it's your time, Huck. Well, it's decision time now. 28,000, I think I'd be going, yes, I think he's made the right decision. He's unlucky that he's come up flush against flush. But he's hit the 10.
Yes.
Oh, no.
On the river.
Well, I think it was, I agreed with his play. His time was running out. That was about as good as he could hope to get.
Yeah.
King 10. He's got extra money in the pot. He's got the blind money in the pot. He's got the money from Stealth. He's very unlucky he's walked against the same flush draw. He's actually gone ahead.
It looked like it was going right and on
Hard
the
lines.
river.
Well, look, big hand here, aces. Is raised, done a flat raise, 4 with 4. Called by the pair of 8s. The 8 has got a bit of a straight draw as well. The aces, I
10.
think, yes, needs a 10 for a straight or an 8 for trips.
Yeah.
So he's got 6 outs. The aces is bet 12,000 into a pot of 26. The 8s doesn't want to know because he doesn't want to. They're both very level in chips. He doesn't want to just be calling, not knowing where he is there, and he's put it down. That was good discipline because some people would have been tempted because they had the extra draw.
And not at this stage as well, because the money starts to jump quite dramatically now, so every place helps. 5 left. 5th place, $192, but $256 for 4th place, so nobody wants to be wasting any chips at this stage. We must be due for the blinds to go up again soon, I think, as well. Been at 2,000, 4,000 for quite a while.
Well, the Jacks has bet 12,000. Lee's done a small re-raise here. Well, he's probably picked a bad time because Stealth's got the overpair there. Yep, I didn't think he'd put that down, and he's re-raised. He doesn't want to know any more. He's asked the big question. Of course, and he's got rid of the 2 over card. He's happy to take that down because it's made him chip leader.
Yeah.
He didn't need that to go to the end. He's happy just to go chip leader, carry on from there. That was great. Right. Lee, ace jack. There's only 5 of you. Yep, good. He's raised it up this time, done a proper raise, and he needs to. Because as your stack goes down, if you want to try and take stuff down or want to build a big pot, you need to put in a bigger raise now. These ones I said you can get away with flat raises are generally people who've got bigger stacks.
Bigger stacks, yeah.
Because they say, that's my muscle behind me.
People know that.
Look at these biceps, look at this. Look what's happened if you fight me.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. But if you're a little wimpy one, you've got to say,
that's all you've
here,
got.
no, I've got to put a big punch in to start with. Look, I've got a big punch.
Yeah.
You've got to show them you've got a big punch.
Knockout punch straight away.
Yeah. Because you've got to show your strength, otherwise they don't believe it. You see, you don't look very strong.
Yeah, the ones.
Well, no, look, I am, look.
The ones with the big stack have got the mate hiding around the corner.
I used to carry the box for Lyndsay to the gym for her. I got muscled here, really. It's amazing because Chantal, apparently her specialty is the vaulting the box as well.
Oh, really? Is that right?
It's true, yeah. I read it in Heat yesterday.
You're determined to find some comparisons, aren't you?
Well, I heard your boyfriend even compared you to her, but I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, except he said she had a nicer bum. I was very upset.
He didn't get away with that, did he?
Maybe we got dirty looks. And
Is that all he
cold
got?
shoulder for quite a while.
He got the cold shoulder?
Yes. Yes, he said he only said it for a laugh, but...
You didn't find it too amusing?
Well, he's got a cheek. He hardly looks like Brad Pitt himself.
Whoa!
Comment on my body when you come back in this house with a 6-pack and some nice biceps, but while you're walking around with man boobs, don't say that to me.
Well, I think she's made herself quite clear there.
Yeah. Hot kettle.
The good thing about these multi-table finals is there's so much play in them, though. It's brilliant. We do get to see so much play.
Because when the tables merge together, the people who get to the last table have normally built up such decent size.
Yeah, but the
stack.
blind structure is good. It still allows for a lot of play. You know, this has become still quite room for tactical play. Oh, G3 is likely to be voted off now, I think, if they're not careful.
Voted off the X Factor.
Yeah. Have they got the X Factor? Can they survive with 23,000 chips?
But it's great though, because if you've done, you know, out of 320 people, you've got this far. You don't want to get to the final table and it to be over with in the blink of an eye. You want to enjoy the moment and show everyone how good you are.
You want the money?
Yeah.
Let's get real.
It's like
And the glory.
playing all the little rubbish matches all the way up to the FA Cup final, and then them only letting you play 10 minutes at Wembley. You want the full 90.
That's true.
Your suitor's been back in touch, James. Flirty Liz. I'll tell
Ooh.
you what she says in a moment. We'll wait till for a little bit. I don't want you getting too excited.
You're going to keep me waiting?
Yes. Of course, the guys.
So it's Flirty Liz and Teasing Lyndsay. What a duo.
What a combination. You're upset because the boys who work here lost Flirty Liz's email address.
I wasn't really upset, was I?
I think so. Oh,
Okay, I was upset, yeah.
Not upset, slightly knocked.
Right, on with the business.
Yeah, look
the
at
blinds are now
G3 now.
3,000, 6,000. Right, come on, G3, whack it in now. Good play. Unlucky, I'm not looking at the cards, I'm looking at the position.
Yeah.
It was a correct, if I could see the ace-queen, obviously I wouldn't have recommended. Very unlucky, but it was the right time, short-handed, you got an ace, against the blinds, it's likely to be the best hand. We were unlucky,
enough.
ran into ace-queen, but the play was correct. And what we've got to remember in poker, you can make the correct play, it doesn't always have to work. That's what we've got to be able to mentally accept.
Yes.
We can make the right play, the right bet, and still lose. It doesn't matter.
But in the long run, it will make you a better player.
Perfect. And in the long run, if we keep on making the correct play,
You'll be a winning player.
we will be. And so that's what's important.
Yeah.
But it's that concept of being able to accept that you can do the right thing and lose, which is hard for people.
Yeah, it is actually. It is.
Well, if you're so good, why don't you win now? That's what people say.
Yeah.
But that's not it.
Yeah. And when you've folded cards and, you know,
it
then you
would've won.
see maybe on the turn of the river that you would have won, you have to accept that. Not all the time. That, in general, that was the right thing to do when you made that fold.
No, you've got to be realistic and go back and say, there's no way you could have called that bet with those cards.
Yeah.
And if I lived my life again, I'd pass them again.
Yeah.
And if I looked at this flop next time, I probably wouldn't win it.
Yes.
And in the long run, I wouldn't win it enough.
Yeah.
So I did the right decision. And that's how we've got to be. Okay, look, more action. Latinator. Oh, and a re-raise from Simply Good with King Queen. Not my favourite hand, but has hit the king. Inside information, Simply. How could you do that? And it's one pair to Latinator, but it's two pairs to Simply Good. Oh, sorry, it's two pairs. Oh, in fact, it's two pairs to Latinator. He's got queens and threes, but of course, Simply Good's got kings and queens.
and queens, yeah.
So I didn't see your little pair there, Latinator, but it didn't do any good. And it's a good hand, a real hand this time for Simply Good. Pair of ladies. Pair of ladies, which from now on will be known as Liz and Lyndsay.
How do you know Liz is a lady?
Oh, I know you're a lady.
I've been called worse.
There we go. And 4-9-6 Jack. Latinator's got a pair of sixes, which gives him full house sixes.
Yeah.
He's back in the game again. He's got 92,000. This is a very evenly balanced battle here. Blinds are 3,000, 6,000. A lot of play. No one particularly struggling.
No.
Everyone can play poker. This is great to watch.
Yeah, there's no obvious winner at all.
Stealth made up the small blind, and Field puts in the question now, raises. Because he thought that Stealth just made up the small blind, thought it was a sign of weakness.
A cheap look at the flop.
So he asked the question.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we talked about before? In fact, I said, if you want to come in the small blind, why not come in with a raise?
Yeah.
And you ask the question.
You do before someone will come
Yes.
over the top of
And
you.
that would have worked the other way around, because he would have passed to it.
Because it looks like you just want a cheap look
Who
at the
gets
flop.
the first punch in?
Yeah.
That's right.
Aces for Lee.
Wow. How much is he going to make it? 12,000. Flat raise. He wants one opponent. He wants to play this one. Good luck if he beats him. He wants to play it. He's hit part of the flop. He's hit a 4. But he's checked it. Pair of aces. He's got the heart as well. He's checked it. All right. He's got two pairs now. Now he's got it. Really owns this flop now. And yes, Simply Good's bet. He thought it was weakness from Lee. And oh, this is disaster for Simply Good. He's made two pairs. Jacks and sixes.
Yeah.
His pair's gone up. He thinks it's marvellous. Of course, he's cooked.
Cards.
He's cooked because, of course, the aces has got him, done a flat raise. Will he smell it? No, he doesn't. He pays him off. Wowee. And Lee played that very, very well.
That was down to his check on the flop,
Yes,
wasn't
it was down to two things. One, he did the small raise.
Yeah.
He wanted to have an opponent. He didn't want the blinds.
Yeah.
That was the last thing he wanted. Two, he threw in the moody check when he'd improved.
Yeah.
That looked like weakness, and that's how he captured the chips. A very interesting play there. Well played by Lee.
Definitely.
And he's well back in this game. Look at this, he's got 250,000 chips.
Oh, look at that.
And we've lost a player, we're in the top 3.
Yeah, Simply Good.
Remind us of the money, remind us of the money.
Fourth, Simply Good. He's just left with $256.
Not bad.
$10 multi-table tourney, and we've got the top 3. Third place will get 368. Second place, 560.
And first?
$880.
88.
880.
$880.
In the best Geordie voice.
Why? It's really profitable to play poker.
But bear in mind, when you play poker, on this table we had 320.
Why, Hinny, there's a lot of players, isn't it?
And 40 tables.
Amazing.
So these guys have done very well.
Back to English now.
Oh, it's funny how you can turn it on and off.
You think we'll get wrong?
You probably get wrong, like. I do now.
Pair of jacks for Lee. He's not going to get wrong. Stealth there's got the middle pen. Lee is marching on here because he was low before. He's really battled back into this. And he's got another hand here. Pair of queens. He's a card rack. He's picking up hand after hand. And he's done the flat raise again. Yes, Latinator thought, I remember that flat raise you did before.
Yeah.
I don't fancy that one anymore. And he passed. And Lee passes. He thought, let those two fight it out, because I've got a great situation here. And even if one wipes out the other, I've got more chips than they've got.
Is that a great thing to do at this
It
situation
is,
for Lee? When
because
he's...
basically, at odd times though, when there's 3 players, it's often right to let the other 2 people fight, because if one gets knocked out, your equity in the tournament has risen without you taking any risk at all.
Yes, you've moved straight up the ladder
so
without having
you can
to
win
risk anything.
without placing a bet.
Or you can risk as the blinds when they come out.
Yeah, but on that situation, if you choose not to play, you can win, basically, by someone getting knocked out by not placing risking a chip. So it's a win-for-nothing situation. And win-for-nothings are quite tasty.
Yes, the difference between $368 and $560.
Yes,
and you
that's
haven't
quite
had to risk
significant.
anything.
Yes. So basically, in a way, he could work his way, and he could, as I said, he could be making virtually $200 for doing nothing.
Yeah.
And he's the wonderful situation that I said if you add their chips together, it doesn't add up to as much as he's got. He would still dominate them.
Yes.
Just. But if the situation's there, he still will bet. I mean, he'd like to fight Latinator. If he had a good hand against Latinator, that would be great. This is super tournament again. I think we've been very lucky with the games tonight.
We have had some brilliant ones.
Have you enjoyed them?
I really have, yeah, because they've all been good and all so different, because the sit and goes were so feisty and so quick. They were great. And then the cash game, we had some really good players on there and some great cards, didn't we? So we saw
and some good plays.
Some great individual situations. And then this final table, this multi-table tournament's been fantastic. And still
buzzing.
Yeah.
Latinator pushes. Jack 10 suited. I don't blame him. Yep, took it down. Shine of strength. He has to. You see, he's down there because.
Yeah, the blinds.
The
3,000, 6,000.
Yeah, he's getting near there. You see. He's still the area where you got him to put the cards down.
Yeah.
He's aware of that.
He's got about 10 big blinds, so but he's getting close to the point, isn't he?
Or what's going to happen here? I think Lee's going to do something. Yes, he does. He does his flat raise again.
He likes those.
Well, I don't mind this now. He's got the big stack again, so he can do it. And there you are. He took down. He risked 12,000. He's got paid 9.
Yeah.
What a wonderful bet.
Yeah.
9,000 and he risks 12. Now that is you win those many times, you get rich quick.
Yes.
That's just no risk and you've won 9,000. Unbelievable. Very, very good. Small risk and you won 9,000 rather. Very good. That's using his stack well. So you don't always have to use a big stack with big bets all the time, because basically you're only going to get called by someone who's got you.
Yeah.
So you can just keep
There's
on.
no point. You don't need
You can push
to.
quite a lot of times. 12, 12, 12, 12. It becomes very annoying for the short stack.
They know you've got loads more that you can come back with.
And they think you might call the re-raise because they think, look, you've got so many chips, I mightn't get you off it anyway. Oh, goodness, I have to beat
I'll
you.
just put it down.
I'm losing. Bye. And so you pressure them. So that's a great way of using your big stack. Well, super tournament. I'll tell you what, super show tonight from you all. You've all really made it great. Great emails. I mean, some of the best quality emails I've seen for a while, actually. Very, very good. And some great tourneys you've put on for us here.
And I've got lots more as well.
Have you got more?
Yeah, we've got loads
You've
more
been
to get
collecting them?
through. Yeah, I've got them stacked up here ready for you.
Have we hit the nerve? Have we got the interactive nerve? We've kicked
have.
it. That's
I hope
what we like.
so. I'm sure we have.
No, we love it. Keep on talking to us. It's brilliant.
Keep sending them through. Any questions? And of course, the theme tonight, we're looking at your 3 most common poker mistakes. I want you to pinpoint what your 3 downsides of your game are. Look at your own game and be a bit self-critical. You can text them 62211 or put them on an email, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
You haven't lost any emails, have you?
No?
Oh, no, I just wondered.
Well, no, the boys lost Flirty Liz's email address.
Yes, no, I just wondered. No mistake happening
Not that
there.
there's any reason why you should need her email address, James.
No, of course not.
But we have correspondence from Flirty Liz, James's suitor. I'll get that for you
Don't tell Nick.
in a few minutes. Why? Will Nick get jealous?
No, you'll go on. And on.
And on and on.
He won't let it rest.
What, you mean like you won't let the Chantel thing rest?
I'll never mention it again.
For another 10 minutes.
I've learnt my lesson. Latinator made the raise with the ace. Oh, look at this. We've got contest here. We've had the re-raise from Jack King. Latinator said, I've got an ace. I can't pass. Up and down straight for stealth. Oh, and he's hit the jack, and that's Latinator. He had a good shape there, but he was winning. Last card, he's just been caught on the last card on the river. Poor old Latinator's gone. He's played a good game, though.
He has.
I thought he took his opportunities. Very impressive. And there we are. We've got the 2 players there, Lee and Stealth. Lee's equity went up by not playing a hand there because Latinator got knocked out. He's got a few chips less than Stealth, but it's insignificant because now they're playing for 880 and 560. So they're playing now for a total of $1,440.
Yes.
So
I
therefore,
know it's not that much, his stack's not that much
no.
shorter
So
than
technically his equity, he's just about level. So therefore, 1440, half of that 720. Well, let's say he's worth like 680, but rather than in this case. So he's worth, say, 680 because you've got a few chips less.
Yeah.
But he's gained the difference between 368 and that much. 680. So that was worth probably about 320 to him.
And no risk.
Yes. So it's very interesting when there's 3 players.
Yes.
It's an interesting concept you've got to get your head around. You've got the choice of being an aggressor, betting them out, or taking the no risk and leaving the 2 to fight it out, knowing that's going to be good for you, if the right one wins.
Yeah.
What have we got here? Deuces against ace-9. The ace-9's betting it. Difficult for the 2s because there's 3 overcards.
Last 2 then, heads up. Blind still 3,000, 6,000. Lots of play left.
Okay, and he's a raise here from Lee. Takes it down. Look at that. And it's a raise from Stealth, makes it 16. And he calls king, and he's hit the king. Oh, and poor old Stealth, he's got a 7 in his hand. That's no good. He's in big trouble here.
Oh, he just puts in 8,000.
But he takes it, and poor old Stealth is now, look at this. Lee is certainly going to change the chip ratio now, and he's found another hand. He's certainly finding hands. How's he going to bet it? He's raised again. He's made it 16, and Stealth puts it down. He's still got play, Stealth. He can put hands down, because there's still plenty of play. And it's great to see heads up in this multi-table tournament, because sometimes at the end of a sit and go, if the blinds are 640, 12, 80, there's no play.
They don't last
it's
very
push,
long
push,
at all,
push.
do they?
But here, you do have the option to play poker, you do have the option to pass,
Yeah.
you do have the option
Wait for hands and
when to make your move.
yeah.
However, you should still probably be the aggressor,
Yeah.
because you need to...
You have to be aggressive in heads up, don't you?
You do. Because if you make a mistake, supposing the hand it was wrong to be aggressive on, it's not going to be that wrong.
No.
If you decide to be passive on a hand, it could be a big mistake. So therefore, by being the aggressor, the mistakes are likely to be less,
Yeah.
and you're never going to be that wrong. But the other way, you could be making a big error, so you have to be a better player to know when to be passive.
Yeah.
So that probably takes more skill. If you're lacking a little bit of skill, err on more aggression. You won't go far wrong.
Yeah.
If you're a really skillful player, well, hopefully you can judge exactly when and how to play.
But even if you're being aggressive and you get called, you're only going up
Still a way
against one
out.
person, so there's plenty of ways
Yeah, you can
out.
still get lucky.
Yeah.
If you've made a mistake, you can get lucky as well. But look at this, he's taken down a lot of chips without showing a card as well. Well, I don't think what do we do here? He might pass this one.
Yeah.
And he does. Well, the king, is he just going to make it up, or is he going to raise? He raises. He's gone for aggression. The 2-4's not going to call that, though.
No.
And Stealth is very happy to take that down. It wasn't the best hand he had, but he was pleased to get the blinds with it. Well, he'll play that one. Lee, I don't know, he won't, but I mean, he'll play the 10-jack, that's for sure. High cards rule in this game, of course. Heads up. Oh, he's starting to have a dearth of cards now, Lee. His cards have dried up. A lot of hands in a row. He can't call that either. But
No.
I'll tell you what, he's showing discipline here. He's still prepared to put some of these down, which is good.
Because he can still afford to do it, that's the
Just,
thing.
I mean, he's now getting closer, but I mean, oh, he'll fall in love with that because it's the best hand he's seen. Yeah, I thought he would. And he's underdog here. King, Queen, offsuit against Ace-5 suited. Wow, it's a big, big pot. Oh, and there we go, the ace wins.
Yeah.
Wow, and I said he would fall in love with that King, Queen.
Because he's had such rubbish cards
He'd had
before.
such rubbish cards before. If anything, he slightly overplayed it. And I did forecast it before he did
Yeah.
it, because it was a reaction to what it followed.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and it's swapped around. Right, we'll have to take a break, but
Oh.
we'll see the conclusion to that multi-table tournament. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll catch the end of it, find out who wins.
It's
So
just like this, though.
stay there, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to Poker Night Live. I'm Lyndsay, and I'm joined by James Browning tonight. This morning.
This morning, yes.
Yes.
And it's been buzzing.
Yes, great show. We're here till 2. Loads of brilliant texts and emails tonight, guys. So thank you so much for getting in touch with the show. Really do appreciate it. Our theme tonight is being your 3 biggest mistakes which you've spotted in your game. You can send them through to us if you want us to read them out, and we try and help each other out. Our text number is 62211. 62211, or you can email us here at Poker Night Live. There's the address for you. poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And also becoming a bit of a dating service tonight. James has got a little fan who's been making some lovely comments about him tonight. Only unfortunately the boys who work on the show lost the email address of Flirty Liz, who wanted to take James on a date, and he got very distressed. But don't worry, James, all is well. We found the email address. Flirty Liz has been back in touch, but it's a text message.
Oh.
She said, I've logged out and I'm in bed. Calm down, calm down. She says, I'm in my pyjamas now. What? Pyjamas? Work tomorrow, yes. My poker is not good enough for me to give up the day job. See, Liz, you would have done better if you said you're in some, like, slinky negligee or something instead of your PJs. But she's also sent in her email address.
Wow.
So don't worry about that.
Have I gone red?
You love it, don't you? You love it. Right, I've got an email from Steve, who's Balrog. with his 3 poker mistakes, and he says, morning Lyndsay and James. 3 faults I have. I must say I had a bit of trouble shortlisting them down to 3. In 3rd position, thinking I can outfish the fish. When I identify someone who I believe to be a bit of a chancer, to say the least, I have trouble believing they ever actually have a hand. I decide to catch them. The problem is I forget to have a hand myself to do it. Good point. In 2nd position, getting into a far too tight and paranoid frame of mind at times, folding everything to the slightest smell of a raise, being too scared to steal because I know that he'll re-raise me. And in 1st place, the winner is not being able to find a happy medium between the other 2.
Oh. Okay. Outfish the fish, yes. You've made a good point there. We've got to remember that however bad a player is, they are still capable of picking up a pair of aces. Everyone can have a big hand. And I think we tend to forget that, because if we identify a player as being a poor player, a wild player, a fish, whatever we want to say, a fish can still pick up a big hand. And we have to remember that. Also, your point, of course, is very important. If you think they're at it, then you have to have a hand to be able to beat this no hand. So a no hand doesn't beat a no hand. You don't know where you are. So that's a good point you've made yourself. Very good to start identifying his habits when he's stealing as normal. But make sure you at least have something to beat it. You don't need to have so much. Maybe a small pair is enough because you think he's just bluffing it away on the river. But you need to have something which will beat the bluff. So there's the 2 things there. Remember, the bad player can always pick up a good hand, and also you must have at least something to beat the bluff. The second one was getting into too tight and paranoid a mind frame. Wow, if you are feeling like that, you know, actually take a break and have a walk around. Don't try and, if you feel like that, you can't play. Okay, if you're in a tournament, you start like that, you've got to play because you're in the tournament till the end. If you're aware of feeling like that, you realise you've over-exaggerated. It's good to have a fear. It's good to have respect for the game. It's good to have respect for your chips and your players, but don't overdo it. And look instead for the actual facts and the real information of why that bet's there. So don't just be having this feeling. Don't worry about your feeling. Look for the facts. Ask the questions and look for the facts, why that bet is there, and then make a judgment. Or look at your hand and say, will this stand a raise? What will he call it with? If it's not many hands, then pop in that raise and you're still doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And happy medium between the 2. Well, yeah, get one.
Speaks for yourself. Yeah, you need one. Good stuff though, Steve. Thanks for that. Gerard has been in touch and he says, hi, guys and girls.
Hi, Gerard.
When I fold a hand pre-flop and it would have filled, how do you stop yourself from playing that hand the next time? Because when I play middle hands, I don't fill. And when I fold them, they fill. Is the game out to get me, or is it bad play?
It's not bad play, it's selective memories. Unfortunately, when we have a hand and we pass it, and we notice that it would have made the flop, made the hand, we remember it. You go, I can't believe that, I've just passed it, and straight away it makes it. We remember it. But we don't remember it so much when we pass and nothing happens. In fact, we just watch telly or turn around or shrug our shoulders. We don't make a note of it. If you really want to see what happens, have a bit of paper and start logging it down, and you'll see that it will only hit eventually the number of times it should hit, and it will only win the times that it should win. And if you've decided that it's not correct to call it, let's hope that you were right and it wasn't correct to call it, and in the long run you'll be better off passing. Don't worry about being an after-time merchant, because it doesn't help us that way, because a selective memory clouds our vision.
Okay, this one is from Roadrunner, who says, great programme as usual, thank you. James said about asking the question on the raise. I've been watching poker on this channel for about 5 months and just started playing free roll thanks to Dr. Tom. I'm getting into the top 100 easily out of 2,000 plus. I had a situation today where I had 47,000 chips. I had 10 of diamonds and the queen of clubs. There was a full table of 10. I was second chip leader. The flop came 3 clubs, including the 8 and the 10. I bet 1,500 and was called by only one other person, heads up. The blinds were 200 and 400. I bet the next card, which I think was the two of spades, still hoping for the flush, and was called. The river came, which was the 7 of clubs. I now had the queen flush with the ace on the board. The other person went all in, thinking he was bluffing, as only one card could beat me. I called a 27,000 bet. He had the king, and I lost that amount. I was absolutely gutted. What did I do wrong, James? Please, can you help me?
Right. I think what you've got to look back at here, you've been unlucky because you've walked against the one flush which can beat you here. However, you haven't slow played this. You've actually bet it, I think you said, on the flop?
Yes.
So when you've bet it, as soon as your opponent calls it, what do you think they're thinking? Don't you think they've noticed 3 clubs on the flop? So what have they got? Either they might have a club, in which case they're not going to be calling that with a low club, are they? Because they don't know where they are. So they could have that master club, which is the king of clubs, or they could have a different sort of hand, which could be maybe trips or 2 pair or whatever. But if they've got that, you will see a reaction from them on the turn. And on the turn, if they've got that different sort of hand, and they don't think you've got the made flush, i.e. because it's 118 to 1 that you could have hit it, and if they've got a club, it's even longer odds that you've hit the flush on the flop, you will see the reaction from on the turn, and they will bet you out of that pot in case you're on a flush draw. He didn't bet you out on the turn. He's now given you a clue that he is also on a flush draw. So actually, you have a chance there that you could have known. On the turn, did he bet again on the turn? Sorry, Lyndsay.
The river came. Yeah, I bet the next card,
Right.
which thinks was the 2
In
of
fact,
spades.
in that case there, because to say you could have actually just about checked and called. You might have still had to call the same amount, but if he's got the master one there, he mightn't even take all your chips off you because he mightn't realise you've got a flush, and he might actually just put a small bet in. So you'd have paid him off, but you'd have still had some chips left. That could have probably be the only escape route. You could have made the pot a little bit cheaper along the way as well. So there's more likely in a tournament that you could keep some chips back. So as I said, when there's a bit of uncertainty there, the end there you could have done check and call. And probably got away with still having some chips left.
Yeah, but thank you for your email, Roadrunner. I hope that's helped you out anyway. I've got, James,
Okay.
a text from Shirley in
Shirley.
Ireland. Shirley from Ireland, who emailed us before, and he says, "Hi guys again. Yes, Lyndsay, I do fancy James. Unfortunately though, I'm far too old for him. He is by far the best presenter, explaining things in plain language without all the complicated implied pot odds every sentence. Thank you." Getting all the compliments
I am,
tonight, James.
So it's only taken about a year.
Yeah. And it's all the ladies as well. Do you know what?
Wow.
It's that tie.
It's a
definitely.
tie. I've never worn a tie
I
before.
know, but it's working.
I'm gonna put the tie on when I get up tomorrow. Thanks very much, Shirley. That's very nice of you.
So yeah, if you want to chat James up, or indeed ask him a poker question, then please do get in touch with us. And also, we want to know what are your top 3 poker mistakes. You can text us. There's the number 62211. Or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. So, right, James, we left our multi-table tournament heads up.
Like this.
Great game. We're going to get back to it now.
I think Lee's short stack, wasn't he?
Yes.
He just got hurt.
Just.
Yeah, there he is. He had 80,000. There's 8,000 in the middle. That's exactly as it was. And we've got the bet from Stealth there. And he's got the ace-jack. He's going to commit. That's definitely right. And he's got him dominated here. Yes, and he's back in the game. He's got 160,000. Fantastic. The game goes on. Whew. They were teasing us, keeping us waiting for this.
I know.
And he's put that one down. He's still got enough room to play. Why? Because the big blind's 8,000. He's got 156,000. So therefore, he's got nearly 20 big blinds. Still quite a bit of play.
Yep. He was
There
up
we
to
go
about
again.
$250,000 though, wasn't he, before we left for
He
our
was,
break?
but we mustn't worry about what was before. That's one thing. We must be just in tune with where we are now.
Yeah.
Don't ever sort of pine about how things
Don't
were.
look back.
No?
Always look forward.
That's a very good way of putting it.
So,
King 5. Well, what's Stealth going to do with 6-7 suited? Yes, he's popped in a raise with that there. And he's called with the king. So, oh, and we've got a flush draw. This could be dynamic. We've got a flush draw for Stealth. And he's bet it. Well, King 5 can't enjoy that. There's an ace in the flop. Yes, he's had to put it down. But there we are. The worst hand stolen it. He had outs. He had a flush draw. He had a backdoor straight. There was 6-7. There was an 8 in the flop. He could go runner to make a straight as well. So he had a few escape routes.
Yeah.
But he was underdog. He was still a big underdog, but he took the money down. Good opportunism by Stealth. Right. And Lee has got the Jack of Hearts in his hand. He's not even to muck around. He's pushed. He's on a draw, but he's pushed. The flush draw was a bit he liked. He thought his Jack might be winning. He hit the flush. And he's still hovering around this 150.
Yeah.
Queen 9. Is he going to raise it? Yes, he does. 8 up to 16,000. He made it. Wham! 28,000 from Stealth. Big bet. He didn't want that one called, did he?
No. He made his point.
Yes. Well, that's not what Lee wants to see. 6-4. He's got a dilemma here. Yeah, oh, he's still popped in the raise. He's kept to his plan, and he took it down. You'll be delighted that when you've taken down the blinds, 12,000 chips, and you only had 6-4, you want to jump up and sing. Oh, watch out here, Lyndsay. There could be trouble. He might like his suited cards. Yes, I thought he would. He's called, but the pair of tens has got him in bad shape here. But the tens, of course, doesn't like the queen and the jack. But oh no, he's whacked it in. He's committed him. 140,000. That's it. It's virtually all in. Bar 620. Same thing. Well, brave bet from Stealth there. He just didn't want to muck around anymore. And he didn't want to see, if the queen and jack weren't his, he didn't want to see an ace or a king, because he'd have then thought, oh my goodness, one of these has hit my opponent.
Yeah.
So he took the decision away and said, go on then.
Out, yeah.
I'm pushing you out. Oh, look, he's flopped a flush.
And he's hit his king.
He's hit top pair. I fear.
Oh, it's all in.
It's all over. He's got 2 pair. He doesn't house up. He was 10 to 1 against to make a house on the turn. He didn't make it. We have a winner.
Stealth.
Stealth.
Yeah.
$880 for Stealth.
560 for Lee.
And I'll tell you what a super tournament.
Very, very good, wasn't it? It started with 320 people, didn't we?
I love that final. I thought we saw a lot of very good plays. I hope it was very instructive for everybody out there. I think the pair of you, Stealth and Lee, I thought you both played really well. Excellent.
You did. I'm going home with nice prizes there.
Yeah, but good aggressive play in the heads up. And that was a good heads up battle. Very, very nice.
Nice amount of time as well, wasn't it? Good length.
It was. If I'd be critical, I thought his 6-9. I got worried that he fell in love with it being suited. Heads up, big cards rule. He passed hands before. I think he could have passed that one again. It was a critical part of the tournament for him. So if I'm going to be hypercritical, I think that's one you could have chucked away. I think you fell in love with it being suited. Not a good idea. The size of the card is what counts heads up. But brilliant anyway. Altogether, you played well, both of you.
Good stuff. Right, we're going to have a look at the cash game, James.
Okie dokie.
It's 50 cents, a $1 cash game. Let's head over to that table.
Let's see how they're doing now. There we go. Look at that. Johan Harren, he's up to 382 now. He's still going along very nicely. Johnny was 212. Buffy be good, struggling a bit on $29.
Flush draw for Johan Harren.
No one's got an 8. No one's got a 2. No one's got a pair.
No one's got much, except Johan.
Well, they've all got a pair. They've all got a pair of 8s.
Yes, they have, of course.
Now it changes, and it's kicker time. Why? Because Beardy's got a pair of jacks and a pair of 8s with a 10, but Given has got a pair of jacks and a pair of 8s with an ace.
An ace, yeah. course, a 9 would give Buffy the straight.
That's
If he gets a
very
9 on the
correct.
river.
8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. Well spotted. Lyndsay sharpened up her straight vision.
Well, because we pointed that out earlier on tonight, one of our viewers' most common mistakes in
Was
their
missing
game
straight.
is missing straight.
Yes.
So
And what have we got now? We've had
got full house.
The
Forgive it.
kicker negated
Right.
because they've both got a full house.
Yeah.
So
Both
the
had
kicker doesn't
8s
count anymore
with the
because,
jack.
yes, because they've got the 3 8s, 2 jacks,
5 card hand.
5 card
yeah.
hand. So now it's irrelevant that he had an ace and he had a 10.
Yes.
They don't count because it's a 5 card hand.
And split
That's-
pot.
That's split pot, and that's why we always must think of that 5 card hand. Good example, if there happen to be 4 aces on the flop,
Yeah.
what hand do you want? You're under pressure now, Lyndsay.
4 aces on the flop. I want 2 kings to give me ace full of kings.
No. Nearly. You just want 1 king because it's 4 aces with a king.
Yeah, of course, a 4 of a kind's better than
4
a
of a
full
kind's
house.
better than a full house.
Yes.
There we go. So a 5 card hand.
So you can't obviously have an ace because there's 4 out on the board.
So a
the
king,
king's
you just
the
want to have a
next
king. You
best.
could have king 2. That
Yeah.
would be the nuts.
Yeah,
Any king would be the nuts. 4 aces with a king.
yeah.
Ah. There you are. Now you learned something.
Yes. I wasn't thinking about it properly. I
All
was
right,
thinking
then.
I was still in full house mode.
I know, but it shows you how important it is to...
Always think of the 5 card.
That's why
yeah.
I thought it might trick you, because I thought that's just to give the example of why we must think of 5 cards.
Yeah.
But it's a good example, really, isn't it?
Yes, it does. It points it out. If you start, as you're watching, just doing that every time, it's going to make a massive difference to
It
your
does.
game, isn't
We
it?
can look here, there's no possible straight there at the moment. The best hand at the moment is trip 8s, possibly.
Mhm.
Followed by trip 6s, trip 3s, 2 pair 8s and 6s,
8s
eights
and
and
3s.
threes.
Yeah.
6s and 3s. Now it's all changed.
Could be a full house now.
You know, higher, higher.
4 of a kind,
4
sixes.
6s, exactly. So that's how we must do
Yeah.
all the time. That's good that we keep on looking,
For
looking,
the
looking.
best hand someone could have.
Yes,
Oh, Given's hit his flush, the ace high flush as
he
well.
has.
And that's unfortunate because Budburn has
Got trip 6s.
trip 6s, yeah.
But again, this is where we've got to work out. People say they get trouble not knowing where they are. The thing is, if you've got trips,
Yeah.
so you've got one of those missing 6s, and your opponent still wants to keep on betting and there's a possible flush out there, come on.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Inspector Clouseau to work out what's going on here.
Yes. And you know the flush beats trips, so
Exactly.
it's not worth...
Okay, they could have trips like you, but wouldn't they be worried about the flush if that's all they've got?
Yeah.
Or if they haven't got the flush, maybe they've got a house. Maybe they had a pair which paired up with one of the other ones, and the
with the
2
sixes.
6s has given them a house.
Yeah.
But why do they like it? So once you've got quite a strong hand, why does my opponent still want to bet
yeah.
at me all the time?
What have they got?
Most of the time they're not bluffing, they've got a proper hand. It's only a smaller percentage of the time they're bluffing.
Because that's a common mistake, thinking people are bluffing too much.
I think it is, yes. Because people, I'll tell you what the mistake is that people can't bear to think that they've passed a winning hand. But the truth is, you've got to sometimes be able to pass what might be a winning hand to be able to pass lots of losing hands.
Yeah. And as soon as you get your head around that you are, at times, going to have to put winning hands down. The best of the
You
player
didn't mean
you're
to,
going to be.
but you can't, it's not keyhole surgery. You
Yeah.
can't say, that's winning, that's losing. If it was, it'd be a lovely, we would all do very, very well.
Yeah.
So we have to be in a certain area. We say, this area, I'm not sure, okay, I pass. Actually, you'd have won. Okay. But that
it was,
area,
at the time, it was too much
but
of
in
a
that
risk.
area, exactly. But in that area, it now means you pass all those hands below that as well. Where other people would be calling with those hands.
Yeah.
They might have called the one you put down,
Yeah.
well done, and won that, But they would call the other 50 below, which
When
you
you're
passed.
losing.
You saved money and they lost money on all those.
Yeah.
So although they got clever on one hand, they got killed on 50. And that's the way we must look at it.
Yeah, you have to be able to put them down.
In no limit hold'em, you must be able to put a hand down. Big, big no limit point. Massive.
Get your head
In
around
no
that.
limit hold'em, you must be able to put a hand down. Better, if you're not sure what that money is doing, to save that money for the next hand and bet with it than call not knowing where you are.
Yeah. And it'll save you so much money.
Yeah. So those very same chips, don't worry, keep them for the next hand. Say, right, I'll play with them on this one where
you're sure.
Where I'm asking the questions.
Yeah.
Let them decide. So that's the other thing is, this now follows on to why it's good to ask questions.
Yeah.
Because if you're the question master,
You're in charge.
yes, exactly, and they might make a mistake. But if you let them be the question master, you might make the mistake.
You could give the wrong answer.
So, be Magnus Magnusson.
Oh, Chris Tarrant.
Not allowed to phone a friend, however.
No, but they are really good points. And just things that you should keep at the forefront of your mind when you're playing.
Hello, Liz. We've got James here. He's on 64,000.
You've got Liz on the brain, you.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Right, so what we got now?
It's a raise from Johnny Was.
Yeah.
Chirpy raise, but he's got... What's he got? Apart from 7-4, what's he got?
Flush
No.
possibilities?
No. Position.
Yes.
Well, he's got two pairs now, but it's not as good as 4s and 8s. It's not as good as 5s and 8s. And the 5s is stubborn. He's not moving. So Johnny tried to be creative in this pot, but it's cost him quite a bit of money there.
Kings for Budburner.
Nice position to get them. Small blind. Is Johnny Was going to be... Yes, he's limped in there. He's trying to get some money back from the hand before. Bud Burner doesn't raise. Whoa, too many opponents there. You don't want 3 opponents.
No.
What's this? A bet of 1. Look, he's giving odds to Johan Harren to hit a funny hand. He's got a pair. He could hit 4. He could hit a queen. And the Jack 7's in there as well. Jack 3's in there as well. Very strange play from Bud Burner.
Checks now.
He's winning, but he's got away with it. He's got away with it.
He made himself vulnerable there, didn't he?
He did. But he's managed to get $4 off Johan, which is rather good. But look at Johan, up to 420.
Yeah, the maximum he could have sat down with is 100.
Yeah, so very steady. To multiply his starting stack like that is very impressive.
And he's just gradually been going up bit by bit, hasn't he? Steadily.
Gradual, steady. I think
Yeah.
that is the key thing. I mean, that is probably the sign that he's playing really, really well,
Because
isn't
we've
it?
dipped in and out of this game over the past 3 hours, haven't we? And seen it. It's been a gradual increase.
It's been impressive, hasn't it?
Yeah. So Budburner should have raised before the flop there with those
Yes.
kings.
As it happens, he got away with it, but that was more by luck than anything.
Yeah.
And the problem is he'd have probably ended up paying off Harren if he'd hit his second pair. He'd have probably paid him off. If he'd hit his 4 and he had queens and 4s, Johan Harren would have got a lot of money off him.
Yeah.
He'd have stuck it in with his. He'd have called with his kings. So he played it in a way where he could win a little bit, or if he gets caught, lose a lot.
Yeah.
So altogether, when you put that whole package together, that isn't so clever.
No.
Win little, lose a lot. Win little, lose a lot. Hang on, you don't get anywhere, do you?
No.
Better to win nice amount more often, you see what I mean? And try not to get caught for too big a one, because
Yeah.
you'll get rid of the dodgy hands. And the other hands, you should have more chance of reading what they are. You can't be expected to be able to read Queen 4 if he hits that one.
Yeah. But
you
if
didn't-
you're going to
But you let him be in there. You only raised it. You didn't raise to start with, then you only bet $1.
Yeah.
He can be in there with any hands at all. So the principle of what he did was bad. And there were 3 opponents. And he's out of position with 3 opponents.
He's not building the pot. He's giving people chances to outdraw him.
And he's out of position. Not the time to do it. If you want to play tricky, at least have position.
Yes.
Not the worst position. He was making it like a handicap race. He had the best hand, but he thought, well, how can I handicap myself the most?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I'll just keep it small. I'll let them all stay in. I'm out of position. I still won't bet them out of it. Yeah, that's enough to get me into trouble. Well, what happened? I didn't get into trouble. I tried it.
He's given them chances to beat him.
Yeah. Top pair for given. Kojak. Pair of 5s for Beardy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did you spot it?
I did. I was just going to say a promise.
Okay.
I was just going to say it there.
But you couldn't get the words out?
You beat me to it.
All right then. I'll believe you.
And you started counting what you were going to say.
And it's a raise from the straight. And again, remember what I said earlier in the show about re-raises? What are they generally? Re-raises?
That you've got to respect them. They've got...
Because normally...
What
are re-raises normally? Are they normally good hands or normally bluffs?
Never bluffed, hardly ever.
Exactly. And just look, we're watching here, watching. But can't I remember one of the mistakes of our viewers there? He says he refuses to believe, he always calls re-raises. Watch.
Yeah, there's a reason that they're re-raising.
Watch the re-raises. How many of these re-raises are bluff?
We hardly ever see it.
Hardly any. You have to be able to put down against re-raises.
Yeah. I've got a couple of emails and stuff, which I'm just going to squeeze in here, James.
Okay.
An email from Rob, who says, "Hi guys, I've just one problem. I'm tight weak. Please help."
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Tight weak. Yes, okay, well you're half good. Half bad. Yeah, just switch it. Become tight aggressive. It's very simple. Don't be tight weak. Tight is good because at least by this we mean you're being selective. I presume you're playing in a 10-seater game, you're being selective with hands that you want to play. But what we saw there was a good example of tight weak. You had a pair of kings and you've heard me going on and on about how poorly he played that one against too many opponents. So when you're tight weak, you do end up against too many opponents. It's no good. So start asking the question, start raising. When you've got good hands, charge them more money because they're probably going to be calling with worse hands. And in the long run, you're going to make money by doing this. So start putting in raises, asking the questions, following up with bets, keep on being selective, and you'll be surprised, however selective you are, there's still people out there who will be prepared to pay you. And your results will skyrocket upwards.
There you go, Rob. Thank you for your email, though. I hope that's helped you out. I've got an email from Mike, who says, "Dear Poker Night Live, thanks again for saving me money. I've heard it discussed before that players sometimes give themselves a female name because male players sometimes try to chat them up and will give up hands to them. I was in a $10 sit and go last night and there was someone playing under a female name who started to get chatted up by a male player.
I'm getting worried.
There were 7 of us left. And they ended up in a heads-up pot where the woman said, raise all in, but one, and fold, and she'd give him her email address. He said yes, then did it. But he didn't fold and turned over pocket kings. I thought that no woman would allow herself to be chatted up by some stranger on the internet like that and give her email away. So it must be someone pretending to be a woman because they're trying to get chatted up and get an advantage out of it. I hope that made sense. I just found it amusing and hope you do too. Keep up the good work." And that's from Mike. Crafty little devil, eh?
Flirty Liz isn't the man.
Well, you back on Liz again. We're talking about...
Flirty Liz isn't some bodybuilder, is she?
Oh, don't get worried. No, she's a lovely beautiful
I don't believe that
woman.
email. Who was
Fancies
that,
you.
Mike? What are you saying this for? You've spoiled my night.
Well, maybe in that case, but not in the
No.
case of Flirty Liz.
I think there are plenty of people out there playing under pseudonyms of different
Yeah.
sexes.
Definitely. But no, Liz is definitely female.
Do you feel
beautiful. Yeah. And fancies you like mad. What more can I say?
Okay.
Don't stress. Right, we're going to go back to a cash game. We've got loads more emails, so keep them coming through. If you want to get one in before the end of the show, you can text us 62211 or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. But let's get back to the table so we don't miss anything. 50 cent, $1.
Look at this. Lyndsay, is this unbelievable? Johan's up to 500 now.
Every time you come back to him, he's made some more money.
He's a money machine.
He is.
Is he your favourite?
He's a great player. He is a great player. I don't know anything about his personality though, James, and I wouldn't judge him just on the size of his wallet.
Quite correct. No, he does play well. I've liked his play actually for a long time. I spied him out very early.
He's been playing on Poker Night Live for a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We're also reading your emails and texts regarding your biggest poker mistakes, your top 3 poker mistakes that you make in your game. We've been getting some great ones throughout the night, so keep them coming through. We'll get some more before the end of the show. poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
Said it earlier, but very high quality. The actual content of the emails has been superb.
Some really good
You've
stuff.
really put some effort into writing them. I mean, you've really put them together really well. Very enjoyable.
They're quite witty as well tonight.
Oh, they're always witty out there, aren't they? We have a very good quality audience on Poker Night Live. We're very lucky.
I wonder who's been James's favourite emailer tonight.
I thought the one from Mike was quite good, if I remember. I think he spoke about the poker tracker. That was good.
He did.
I enjoyed that
was
one.
a great email. What about Flirty Liz?
I think she talked about not noticing straight.
Yes, she did.
Yes, and
She also talked about bone dogging.
you got me worried there. Yes.
And how nice your tie was.
I sort of thought it could have been a question for Stan Collymore there, but I wasn't quite sure.
Oh! Yes, it's an interesting topic altogether.
He's cracked up altogether now, hasn't he? It's terrible.
Apparently so.
How can... It's unbelievable. Like he was sort of like a fit superstar footballer.
He's been doing that programme, hasn't he, where he's been letting the doctors, like, look at him and chat to him, but he's been actually involved in a TV programme about it, so I don't think it's wrong to say that he is losing it, because the doctors on this TV show, there was a psychiatrist actually said it, so he's actually got involved in this show. I can't remember what it is now.
Scary though. But he was on the farm as well or something.
Yes, did you know he did The Farm a while ago, didn't he?
Yeah. I didn't actually watch that, but I just sort of...
The Funny Farm.
What was it?
Well, they all are.
Oh, yeah.
There's some right characters on there.
Oh, yeah, there was
Vanilla Ice and...
And who was the girl who did the...
Emma... Was it Emma B who was on there? The Page 3 model was on it.
But wasn't the girl who sort of milked the bull or something? I'm not sure.
Rebecca Luz.
Oh, yes, that's
No,
right.
she didn't milk anything. She did something to a pig.
Oh, it was a pig, yes.
Which was purely for farming reasons, of course, but caused a big scandal in the press because of who she was.
Yes.
Because obviously she's the David Beckham woman.
Yes.
And the fact she did things to a pig on TV hit all the front pages.
Victoria, she's out now with a new, slimmer figure than ever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I just saw a picture of her, I can't
It's
understand.
crazy. As Johan's stat gets bigger, Victoria Beckham's waist gets smaller
My goodness.
by the minute.
It's a good battle.
No, it is.
But how would she look? I don't know what
It's
she's done now.
ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. I'm sure they could afford their own private chef.
Your own private chef would make it bigger, I think, wouldn't it?
Well, she needs to. So this is our 50 cent, $1 cash game on Poker Night Live. Been watching this throughout the night. You and Horne making a really good profit, up to $496, and the maximum we could have sat down with at the table is $100. Johnny puts in the raise with his 9s.
Ooh, Johan's got a pair of queens. He could break the 500 barrier again, I think, with this. What do you reckon?
Well, with any luck, though, there's not a lot.
Oh, look at this. A raise from Buffy be good. I think Buffy's just been bad. And Johan's re-raised him. No help there for Buffy. Oh, Buffy, Buffy, Buffy. What a lucky boy. There you go.
Which is ace on the turn.
Not exactly dinted Johan, I think. But,
no, it wasn't a massive pot, was it?
Probably was confident of breaking the 500 barrier again with that one, I would think. He was about 11-4 on favourite, his pair of queens against the ace small. Cowboys, King Kong for Johnny Was.
Johnny was what?
Johnny was... Johnny was limping under the gun.
Yeah.
With King Kong. And that... Why doesn't he do the re-raise? Oh. He'd done it perfectly under the gun. Now he could have popped in a re-raise. But however, it's worked better for him. We've got Bud Burner who wants to Bud Burner his chips away.
With nothing. With
nothing, exactly, Lyndsay. What's he doing? And look at this, Johnny Was. Deliberating. Oh no, now he pops in a raise. Bud Burner.
You've got to put it down now.
Well, you haven't got enough to make him pass, so I hope you're not even going to contemplate trying it. Or he's just pretending that he's got a good hand, but I'm putting it down anyway. I've got the jack, but okay, I think you've got better.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't bluffing. It's the sort of the bluff deliberation.
Yeah. Thinking about it first, or pretending to.
Just pass straight away, they'll know I was bluffing. I don't want them to think that. That's what he'll be thinking.
But of course we know he'd already wasted money.
Yeah. Well, Bud's got a couple of chips back again. And Johan's got a pair of 4s. I'll be interested to see what he does. Is he going to limp in? Yes, he does. He limps in with the 4s. I quite like that. Looking to make a big hand with it. Swabby, what a strange call that is. 6 jack off suit. Horrible. Very difficult hand to play. If you hit your jack, you don't know where you are. And Johnny Was is limped again. He's non-betting. He doesn't bet. He's a passive player, this Johnny Was at the moment. Trying to trap people, but then he doesn't seem to want to bet anyway. But he's in trouble, of course, because Johan's got trip 4s.
Yes, yeah.
He doesn't know that. Now he's put 1 in. What's Johan going to do? He just makes it a teasing 5. He'll definitely get called by the top pair. Now, will that heart frighten Johnny Was? He's checked. Well, he's done the right thing there. And now Johan's whacked in the bet there. Now, what will Johnny think? Can he put this down? He knows the player. He knows he's a solid player. Can he put... No, he can't. Well, Johan's broken the 500 barrier. He's hitting some flops, so he hit the trips. Johnny didn't really... he couldn't have got away from it, but he didn't know where he was because he didn't do any betting early on. He doesn't know if people like it. He didn't know if they'd hit it on the... He didn't quite know where he was at all.
So you're being a bit too passive.
A little bit. As it happened, he was in a disaster there anyway. He hit top pair against trips. You are going to lose money there. You can't avoid it. Top pair with a good kicker against trips. This is a disaster. But it's a matter of how much you lose in a disaster. The one thing he did was good was, in fact, he actually did check on the river with his top pair.
Yeah.
He checked and called. Where if he'd bet, he'd have faced a re-raise and maybe he'd have lost more money.
Yeah.
So in fact, he did minimise his loss at that stage. But I would have preferred for him to find out where he was earlier on.
Before it got to that point.
That's right. We're not talking with knowing what hands they've got. We're talking, when I talk about the hand, I'm talking about what he should have done with his ace-king without knowing what people have got.
Yeah.
So we don't use our Poker Night Live knowledge to decide the play. I'm saying what would happen. So often I'll recommend someone with ace-3 to go all in, even though I can see someone's got ace-queen. It's not because of that. It's because of just as if I didn't know the other cards.
Yes.
So I want to make that clear to people.
Yeah.
I'm never a results merchant. I try to make the play as if I didn't know the other cards.
Yeah, as if you were that person, what you would do in that
Exactly. That's
situation.
right. Even when we can see that all his cards are out and they're dead or whatever, that's irrelevant to me. Right, Johnny was, Jack 3, doesn't like it. Buffy be good. Tell you what, the Given's done well to get over 100, Beardy, because with Johan in scintillating form there.
Yeah, dominating the table, isn't he?
But again, you know, a lot of money at this table, and Johnny was has still got 193. A lot of money for a 50-cent $1 game. Look at the money at this table.
It sounds so small when you say it like that, 50-cent $1.
Yeah, but there's way over $1,000 at the
Yeah.
table.
A lot of money to be won and indeed lost.
Yeah. A little baby raise from the ace-jack.
Nines for Swabby.
A little baby call from Buffy Be Good. What's Swabby going to do? Are you going to ask a question? No, he doesn't. Doesn't know where he is. Now he's left Johnny was with a flush draw and a straight draw. Buffy Be Good hasn't connected. Swabby is winning, but he doesn't realise it. It's a low flop, so what does he want with a pair of nines? If he was overly frightened of the spades, that's right. He checks again. Wowee. Possible straights, so maybe I can forgive him there.
Yeah, Johnny wants a 2 or a spade.
I think where Swabby went wrong was his pair of nines. That flop's actually quite good for him, the 3, 4, 5. You could have actually had one stab at it there. Whoa, look at that.
Trips on the river.
Now he'll like it.
No.
But he could still be bothered by the straight, because anyone with a 7 or a deuce has got the straight. 2 spades has got the flush. 7, 8's got a straight. That's possible as well. Anyway, strange betting from Swabby. He was still dangerous when he bet anyway, but he could have actually made a bet on the flop, I think. See, the thing is, when you just check and someone bets, what do you know? Does it mean they've hit? Does it mean they're just trying to bet you out of it? What does it mean? You've got no idea. So if you've got a reason to ask a question or you've got something, why not put this in? Now, as we know, it's not so likely they're going to re-raise you with nothing at all.
Yeah.
It's more likely you're going to know where you are.
So if you put in the raise and you
Or the
get
bet.
re-raised, you've
Yes.
got an answer to a question.
That's right, yes. And especially when you're out of position sometimes, that's a good flop for you. Pair of nines, 3 low cards, all spades. Highly unlikely anyone's flopped the flush. Okay, whack out a bet.
You have to find out information.
Yeah. Well, Given's got the jack. And it's good enough.
Yeah.
Bud Burner's done his stack there. Didn't have much left. But been playing a bit sloppily there, Bud, I think. Nice hand for Buffy. He's made it 5. Decided to put a proper raise in. Beardy. No, pass. Discipline. Didn't get involved with Jack 10. Out of position. Again, difficult. Too many cards which would have worried him on the flop. Baby raise.
Yeah, little baby. For little Johnny.
Ace 9 8. Chicken. Chicken and chicken. 6, 7, 8, 9. Up and down straight for Buffy Be Good. Oh, and he's hit the king on the river.
Yeah.
Not really deserved, I think, for the way he's played it, but there you go. Took down a small pot. Well, not much around there. We've got a pair of fives for Beardy. We've got King Queen on the button for Johnny Was. So we'll see a bit of action here, I think. Oh my goodness, Swabby calls with 5-8. He's keen on calling with strange cards. Beardy, whoa, what a bet this is. Over bet. I don't like that at all. Terribly out of proportion. He's put 42 in to win $2.50. And he's going to get called by any big hand and just be a big underdog. So when it works, he wins peanut. When he loses, he loses massive. A fortune. Yeah. Not clever. Do not try that at home.
Yeah, anyone sitting there with a high pair or something is just going to call him.
Exactly. Well, he's got nines. It's good enough. Cow or King Kong for Beardy. Go on, put a raise in, please. Thank you. That's quite nice. I like that. Good chance to end up heads up.
Little bind.
Oh, we got two customers. That's all right. Pair of kings against two people when you've got position is very nice. Very nice. We've got top pair for Pal on the flop. We've got a middle pin straight draw for Swabby. We've got the over pair for Beardy. Beardy's bet 6 into a pot of 9. And we've had a raise from Pal. Well, he's asked a question. I think he's going to find out. Here's the answer. Oh, yes. Just calls. Okay, you've asked a question. The guide is not frightened. I don't think that's right now. I think he should now be back to check. He's already knows that the guy's called a raise. Yeah. So Pal there should just check. And then at least let Beardy do the price, because now he's opened the door for the raise.
Oh.
Oh, and he stayed in there as well. Well, that was very poor. What happened there? He asked questions and didn't listen to the answer.
Answers, yeah.
No good asking the questions if you don't listen to the answers. That was poor play there in that pot, I'm afraid.
Got his raise called and
didn't take it then still bet into him. Then got a massive re-raise and still called. Oops. Right,
well, nearly at the end of the show, unfortunately. Aww. But we're going to get some more emails in before we leave. This one's from Tom, and he says, "Hi, both of you. My three biggest poker mistakes are 1, turning on my PC, 2, logging into my site, and 3, sitting at a table. Always goes downhill from there." Tom giving himself a bit of a hard time there, I do think. I've got another email from Smoothcut, who says, "Hi again, folks. I've qualified through free roll to a special final for 3 rolls with $1 million first prize and 10,000 down for lesser prizes. Do you play free rolls, James? Some players say that they're for plunkers. But if you have a chance for $1 million, then why not?"
Listen, if you've got a chance for $1 million, that's the sort of free roll, I think, which is very tempting to play in. The smaller free rolls I don't actually play anymore, but one like that, yeah, of course, I'd give it a go. If you're shooting for a massive prize, it doesn't matter if it was a free roll or not. It's fantastic, and I wish you all the best in it. I know the tournament you're talking about. It's from a major site, and it's a great competition. Good luck.
Why not? Right, this is...
I wish I was in it myself.
Yeah, me too. Steve's been in touch, and he says, "It was a great show as usual, guys." Thank you, Steve. "Can you tell me what you would consider a normal variance if playing no limit 10-25 tables?" I'm not quite sure what he means there.
Right, no, I think he means if playing 10... Sorry, is that 10 cent 25?
I think
all right, 10 cent 25 cent. Basically, I think he means a variance basically of what fluctuations you can expect in the game.
Right.
Again, for the buy-in there, you've got a maximum buy-in of $25. So therefore, I would still say that you need to have... just one sec. Yes, I'd still say you should be, even for that game, you should still probably have a $1,000 bankroll, $750,000 bankroll. But basically, I want you to have 30 to 40 times your maximum buy-in. We've got 1 minute left. Variance is quite a big subject. I'll tell you what, this is a subject we will tackle another night. But the swings, you need to cover the swings, basically, is to have 30 to 40 of the maximum buy-ins per table. And now you can handle the variance in the game, basically. That's a quick answer for it.
But it's something that needs to be looked at into more depth on another night. Well, thank you very much for all your emails and texts tonight. Been brilliant. Some great emails.
Super.
And sharing your poker mistakes with us, because we've learnt a lot and helped each other out, haven't we?
Yeah, Lyndsay, I think you're making great progress as well.
Oh, thank you. I'm
very
trying.
impressed. Very
I'm still
impressed.
making lots of mistakes, so tonight's show's been really helpful for me as well. Poker Night Live back from 10 tomorrow as normal with more poker.
I'm here
thank you.
tomorrow.
James is here, but for me and James tonight, thanks for watching. Sleep well.
Bye.